Yo, Emily Baxter in the chat says, "Late again." If people only knew. Well, let's tell them. How many minutes ago did you get home from PAX, AJ?
20 minutes, Brian. I've been home for 20 mintes.
I think being 2 minutes late is kind of acceptable, or 3 or 4 minutes late. Relax, you guys.
I feel like we did pretty good.
I mean, this is as good as we do on a normal day. Forget about having to travel right beforehand. So I think we did pretty good.
Man, and apparently I missed a lot of excitement while I was up there. Apparently there was an earthquake, which everybody was flipping out because Atlanta doesn't really get a lot of earthquakes, but it was like a 10-second earthquake that took Atlanta by storm, where everything just like kind of mildly shook. I came home. Luckily, everything was okay in my house except for one thing I noticed. My refrigerator door was open.
Yes. You think the earthquake got hungry?
I think the earthquake was trying to get a little snack,
a little something.
But it was probably pissed because I didn't have anything in there except Coke Zero.
Did not know you were going to say zero after that. You're like, I was depressed. Because all I had was cocaine, and the earthquake's more of a heroin guy.
Also, I know we got to get the show started, but
no, we don't. This is going to be the whole show.
For some reason, I'm wearing my PAX badge. Don't ask me why. I don't know. But this is the first time I actually read the rules on the badge. Did you read that at all?
No. If I read the rules, I wouldn't have done anything that I did.
Okay, you may be correct. Because number one, the rules of PAX, it says drugs are bad.
Okay.
Number two, don't steal. Did you steal anything?
I don't think so. I think I stole the hearts of a few young lasses and lads out there. But besides that, I think I left everything where I found it.
Number three says don't punch or kick people.
Oh, Nick.
Nick's good. Okay.
Nick punched the goddamn wall in the hotel.
Well, that wasn't at PAX, so that's cool. Number four, no cheating. No five, don't harass anyone. Don't mess. Number six, don't mess with things that aren't yours. I mean, don't you go to PAX to mess with things that aren't yours? Isn't that the whole point?
Almost explicitly, yeah.
So there's a flaw in this thing. I'm gonna return this to them and write a complaint.
I think we should get our money back. Be like, wait, we weren't supposed to do drugs? Give us our money back. This was bullshit. This is against everything we stand for. All right, dude, let's start the show. We've got a lot. I mean, it's gonna be a random show, but we got a lot of random shit to talk about. So let's get going. This is PSVR GAMESCAST Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 Ice Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here without Parole. And this gentleman over here to my left, you are right, the furthest away that he's been from me in the last 4 days. It's my friend, my cohort, my companion for life. It's AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up? Gamepax.
Gamepax.
Happy Monday. And I know that Mondays usually suck. Yes, it's true. But we are here to ensure your Monday sucks.
Girl, you know it's true. Ooh,
just a little bit less.
Oh, fuck, the timing. We got to work on our timing, AJ. God damn. Sergeant Frosty in the chat sent one without parole gift membership. Shout out to whoever got that. Looks like it was mischievous Markio. There's never been a cat more deserving of a random membership drop. Thank you, Sergeant Frosty, for your generosity. What up,
Sergeant Frosty? Sergeant Frosty was present at PAX.
Briefly, but there, for sure.
Dude, him and Awesome Tatum, dude, those military guys, man, they knew their mission. Like, they got in, completed the mission, and got the hell out of there. And, they are efficient. The military does a really good job at training our guys. We got tons more shout-outs to give, but shout out to Sergeant Frosty and Awesome Tatum, Lieutenant Tatum. Also, Sergeant Frosty gave me a physical, unopened copy of Polybius. Oh. Look at this. And I have it with me.
We don't need the PSVR2 port anymore.
No, we still do.
We're set. Oh.
I actually wanted to like take a picture of all of us like surrounding this thing, and then like posting it on Twitter and being like, Jeff Mentor, we summon thee. No, we still need to do that though. I think I bet you, especially from what I learned from PAX, which we will get into and share. We can absolutely pressure Jeff Mentor into bringing Polybius to PSVR 2.
I don't think we need the pressure. It sounds like he's already said that they're going to do it. They just need to find the time. They said that on Reddit.
We'll pressure him to find the time, Brian.
Or we could just pet him and say, "Would you please? Would you kindly?" Probably make it happen that way. Pressure sounds so rough. What was the mission? I'm so confused. What was the mission?
Is actually we traded. We traded. I traded him a Sin Studio hoodie that I had never used, and I got a Polybius out of it because that's what Gamecats do. They barter with PSVR physical items. It's our currency. It's just like press items and random shit.
Nick Mueller in the chat says Sergeant Frosty wasn't present as far as I'm concerned. The hotel is the meetup. And then he says same for Samson and Andrew. Dang it, y'all. It's funny. It was funny. There were Samson sightings even before I got there. He had been there though, and I never once saw Samson the entire meetup, but he was fucking there. He was there somewhere. I did get to meet Andrew Ehrenreich though. We hung out outside of PAX and then inside of PAX. It was literally for 10 minutes though. And then you guys went to do Pink Taco and I had to go to some panel that no one else wanted to go to. And so there were cats like that were sort of like just kind of coming in and out of like my vicinity throughout the course of the weekend that like other people didn't even get to see because the schedules just didn't line up at all. So we had a core group that was with us the whole time, but then there were just other cats that sort of just materialized and then vanished out of sight.
That's crazy. That's crazy that there were more cats there that we didn't. And I'm so bummed. I saw the message from Andrew, and I was really bummed because same thing happened last year where he was there and I didn't get to see him or meet him. I'm starting to imagine like he's just like your alt account. I'm just starting to think that he's that. But sorry, I couldn't see Andrew.
My alt account is fucking nasty. My alt. If you ever see some random dude out there who never posts but is just there defending me on random occasions, that's me.
Oh, that's you. Oh,
that's
okay.
me.
Oh yeah, I see you everywhere then.
No one else comes to my defense, so sometimes I have to, and I don't want to be that mean to people.
That's not true.
Yeah,
that is so not true.
I have 7 alt accounts.
We have needed the cats to come to our defense because there's a lot of weird people out there.
Speaking of weird people out there,
mind their own business.
Geisen in the chat says Brian with a fresh cut after PAX. Let me explain something, Geisen. Last year, the 2024 meetup after PAX, I saw all the pictures that people were taking, and I was like, that was a wake up call. I was like, God damn, I need to lose some fucking weight. And so between last year and this year, I lost 60 pounds. And I was like, okay, good. Check that off the list. And then I saw more pictures from this year, 2025 Gamecat meetup. And I said, and the two things I took immediately from all those pictures were like, okay, I'm not done losing weight. I need to lose another 40 pounds minimum. And also this haircut thing I have going on with it just being slicked back is fucking terrible. It looks good on GamesCast, right? Because like I have control over the angles you see it at, right? It's like this, that's it. That's pretty much it. And plus my camera makes me look way better than I look in real life. And then I saw the pictures from the Gamecat meetup and immediately got home and shaved my head. I was like,
you cut it yourself?
Oh yeah, dude. I haven't had anyone else cut my hair in like 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
It seems like it'd be really hard to do.
Well, this part looks okay. I have no idea what's happening back here, but it doesn't matter because you guys never see that part.
You just take care of what's on camera. I got you.
Nick Milo says, "Stands up." I am Brian's alt account. It's true. That's kind of Nick Frill around here. He's gonna defend me at all times. Oh man, we got there it is. Kill Artist 1, the Dreamweaver Gamecat with the $5 tip says, "I am chilling and eating pizza at home. Glad to be home, but missing everyone already. Already sick.
Missing everyone already sick. A great last few days."
Okay, so I also don't know what he's saying. Already sick, a great last few days.
I think it's already like homesick from missing. Because man, it was wonderful, man. Like, whew, yeah. I mean, so today, Brian.
Yeah.
we are going to give you guys a big recap as to what went on over the last 4 or 5 days. We've got a lot to share with you. And on top of that, we do have tons of pictures, tons of videos.
Yep.
A lot to share that obviously, and a GAMESCAST live in front of an audience.
Yep.
So we're gonna try to do some different things here. Today's gonna be a lot of awesome stories of some things that happened, some of the things that we did. And then we're going to talk about Pirates VR.
AJ said we have a lot of video and a lot of pictures. However, like he just got home 20 minutes ago. I got home yesterday, but like I'd been busy. I was busy all day yesterday, and today I slept in. Like when I say I slept in, like if you look at those pictures, if you hear stories, like some of the stories you hear, as far as I was concerned, I was just dead tired the entire time because we just walked miles and miles and miles every single day with miles sometimes. So it was like, it felt like miles squared. And man, it was something. I've never had something be nearly as much fun as this was, but yet just as exhausting, right? We got home from PAX and it was like now we have to continue to, be social and hang out with everybody, and then set up for GamesCast and record that, and then we were hanging out like till at least midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning every single night in the hotel. And so it was like we're just like really, really tired after it was all said and done. So like I haven't even had a chance to like gather up all those photos and even get all of the videos off of my phone and like onto my computer to start the editing process. It was funny because you pack up everything and you think you have everything you need. Then I'm setting up for GamesCast, and it was clear that I didn't, right? Like I had to use Wes's tripod, and then the lapel mics that I had gotten, it was for 2 people. I managed to sync that up with my PC, but then Miles's very exact same 2 microphones, my computer wouldn't recognize it. So I had to record the audio from 2 other members of GamesCast on my phone. And so I have the audio from 2 people of GamesCast on my phone, the audio of the other 2 people on GamesCast with the video on my PC, and then I gotta like smush that all together and hopefully to line up the way it's supposed to. And it's just like it's gonna be a lot of work, but I obviously want to like spend a lot of time over the next few days and start compiling it all and getting it all out and editing it all together. And there's just so much stuff that I'm not even quite sure like what format to do it in, right? Because there's going to be like some plenty of interviews.
Brian, calm down. Look. It's okay. We know the cats will give you enough time, ample time to
No, they won't. They're already demanding it. They're saying it right now. Where is it?
Well, that's why we're giving them. That's why we're sharing some stuff today. But what I can say is that you guys, like everybody that supported us, like through the GoFundMe, you're gonna get lots of thank yous. Obviously, we raised over like $10,000 to help us fund this trip and get this done, and I really took that to heart. Because that's a lot of money and that's a lot of trust that they put into us. And what I can say is that I do feel really good about this trip, what we accomplished, which we have, like I said, there's going to be stuff rolling out for like days over the next 2 weeks, even about like, all the stuff that, we did. But I made it a real strong point to do a lot more than we did last time. And last time it was the first time, we had done this. So we had a lot more experience of how to kind of like navigate this. So to everybody that supported us, like through the GoFundMe, thank you once again, everybody, obviously everyone that's here watching, everyone that's watching later, everyone that came, like, thank you. We love you. And I do think we possibly created about maybe 3 times more content or accomplished at least 3 times more things than we did last time. Yeah. So I feel really, really good about it. And I'm super excited to share one by one.
You should feel really good about it. I had even told you at one point that you were like kind of an inspiration to me during the meetup because there were days
You told
that
me not to. You told me not to tell anybody.
yeah, well, because I wanted to tell everybody myself.
Oh,
Like whereas I like really praised Miles last year. You know, Miles had a whole other set of set of things going on this year with Impact, and so did Wes. Whereas like
yeah.
AJ and I had the same mission this year, and it was like we wanted to talk to as many people as possible. We wanted to you know, interview as many people as possible. We wanted to be not only VR ambassadors but PSVR2 ambassadors at PAX. We wanted to go and like spread the good word of PlayStation VR2. And there were days that I got up.
It's like a grassroots PSVR movement.
Yeah, and there were days that I got up and was eating breakfast and being like, "When's AJ getting up?" And then in Nick or Latin or Fritz or whoever I was having breakfast with, Scott would be like, "Oh, he left like an hour and a half ago for the show. He's already up and out." And I was like, "What?" And I'm like, all right, let me finish my oatmeal and get down there, right? And I honestly think we killed it, AJ. I think we did an amazing job. We did. I honestly think we set out to do everything. We did everything. We accomplished everything we set out to do, and I'm really proud of us.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm proud of all you two. Like I said, because we couldn't have done this without your support. So everybody, pat yourself on the back a little bit. I feel really good about this, and woo. So
Smith,
yeah,
hold on. Let's knock out some of these questions in the chat.
Okay.
We Smith in the chat says, was there more than one poorly managed VR booth at PAX this year? For anyone who remembers last year, Captain Toonhead and the Punks from Outer Space was just sort of sitting there at a booth, completely not managed. No one was cleaning the headset between uses. No one was instructing people how to use PSVR2. If it wasn't for the Gamecat standing around and like, yeah.
I was able to log in. It was like we had to like log into the PS5 that was on the booth. Like it was depressing. It was so bad, but we did clean it up.
So there was, I got to tell you guys this, like just to be completely transparent with you, there was zero actual, correct me if I'm wrong, zero actual PSVR2 representation at PAX this year. There was plenty of, there's a whole VR section that was being run by Mateo 311, right? He's got he was running all the VR headsets and making sure that that there was a whole section.
I don't know if he was running it, but he helped get it refreshed because he said that he got in touch, or he had to work with the PAX people to get in touch with like Meta, and then because he said like that whole VR section, there's a place where you can play a bunch of VR games. Like they had Moss Book 2, they had Arcanage, and then they had like Pistol Whip, a bunch of different things that you could play.
Fruit Ninja, virtual reality.
Yeah, some garbage out there too.
Fine.
But I mean, it was cool to see like Arcanage there though. And Moss Book 2. I wish I had time to play them, but I didn't get a chance to. But yeah, he had helped with like refreshing the headsets, because apparently it used to be really good and up to date, and then it like after COVID it like never recovered, and they just had like really outdated hardware, and then he got them in touch with like Meta, and they like refreshed everything with like Quest 3s and newer PC headsets, stuff like that.
Yeah, if you're, if you're curious about that presence, about getting people into VR and having them play VR for the first time, or whatever it is, maybe giving them a chance to play. I was doing most of the interviews, but occasionally I would just I'll hold the camera, and AJ interview somebody or Miles interview somebody, and I had Miles interview Mateo, so we actually have an in-depth rundown of exactly how it all happened. So that'll definitely be part of the edited video coming your way later this week.
But I do think the VR presence, to answer the question, I do think the VR presence was a little bit better than last year, despite there not being any PSVR2 there, or a PSVR2 on display, at least that we could find. I mean, when all you got is Captain Toonhead in a in a broken state, it's really not that much of it. But I do think the VR presence overall, I did actually enjoy a little bit better this year. There was like a couple things here and there, not tons, but we more than made up with it, because we became kind of the VR booth, and talk about some of the stuff we pulled off. Again, this is not just us, like this is a full-blown community effort that goes into this, and this is what makes a like positive impact in this way, because we did, just like last year went back to our hotel spot, same hotel. They treated us with the same courtesy and everything. Really took care of us from, keeping us protected with security, literally, to driving us every day to the shuttle, taking, letting us take over the hotel lobby to do our GAMESCAST. These guys are so amazing, and their attitude is so wonderful. And even as I was leaving, as I was last night, as we were checking out, the security guy, he saw us like after, and he saw us kind of cleaning up, and because after we dominated that lobby, but we would be respectful, we would not make a mess, and we would clean up after ourselves, put all the chairs back, put everything back. And actually I spoke with one of the dudes. His rapper name is Genghis Swan, I believe, and it's Gangis Swan. He even taught me his secret handshake. Hold on, wait. Genghis Swan, if you're watching, it's Swan or something like that. I don't remember. that's the real handshake. No, but so we did some really cool things. We were kind of the booth outside of PAX that we held, and you'll have tons of video, tons of pictures. And the cats, once again, man, the cats stepped up. 12-Toe Tom was here this time, which was so great because he missed last year and unfortunate delays of planes and stuff. And we got some outsiders into VR, and we were catching a lot of people's attention at the lobby, where there was our shuttle driver, Jonathan. Shout out to Jonathan, who took us to PAX every single day. And he might be watching this right now. I don't know. But if you're out there watching, Jonathan, he subscribed to both of our channels. Shout out to you, man, for being really cool and help.
He's the new subscriber I got this weekend.
Yes. Tom got him. He had never played VR, but he was curious about it. He has a PS5. He got him to play our shuttle driver. He got our shuttle driver to play Genotype of all games because he likes first-person shooters. And I was like, like,
wait, we couldn't get him in Crossfire. What are we doing?
I don't know. He was
talking about Call of Duty and shit, and we put him in Genotype.
Yeah. I know. I know. Fritz was showing the security guy, Genghis Swan. He was showing him Crossfire last night because he said he liked Call of Duty. And but yeah, no, he put him into Genotype, which I thought was really interesting because. Yeah, there's a lot of games that kind of get overlooked or don't get a lot of attention compared to some, but then they end up being like the perfect thing to show somebody the first time in VR, because apparently Jonathan had a really great time playing Genotype. And I was like, that is really interesting because I get worried about, starting people off with something too a little bit more advanced, better for experienced veterans.
Yeah, throw somebody in Synapse or something and just be like run around, climb and shoot stuff. You don't even have to get into the deeper mechanics. But hey, you know what? Whatever works.
But that also wasn't the only person in the lobby. We did have, we were playing some, for those that stuck around, we were playing some Redacted last night. And it did catch the attention of some families and stuff that were coming by. We stuck some just randos in there. We were I know Mara was there again this time. Mm-hmm. And there was some kid that he had played some quest thing, and but we stuck him into Mara stuck him into No Man's Sky, and I was like, oh, that might be rough, but he loved it. And then this is my personal favorite. This is one of the biggest highlights, I think, for me personally. But there's the head of security. This guy is so all those security guards that are there, always protecting us and keeping us, keeping homeless people or dangerous people. There's some people wandering around the Boston area that could make you feel a little uneasy. And they were really, I mean, they were on top of it. It's like it felt like having our own private security. The head of the security, Blue, I'm sorry,
his name is Blue. He doesn't blow. He was like AJ was like the head of security, Blue. Just clarifying.
Yeah.
His name is Blue.
No,
we're not saying something negative about him.
The exact opposite. He runs he basically runs the whole security operation for there, and he's like the head of like law enforcement for like, you know, I think like special contracting in that whole area. We got this dude fully decked out with a bulletproof vest, with you know, his stuff holstered. He's got his badge out, everything. I can't wait to show the pictures and video of this. We stuck him into Ragnarok, and he had a great time with it. And he's like all he does is play, like all he said is that he played Xbox and he plays Xbox and Call of Duty, and there was like some other, like, you know, pretty popular like mainstream games. He just basically played those. This dude was like shopping for VR later that night. He didn't have a PS5, so I told him, look, just get a Quest 3 for now, because I think it's a good one to start with anyways if you don't have a PS5. But that was another highlight, was, you know, he's actually his name's Riley Blue, and he's on like TikTok. He's a fantastic singer as well. He had a beautiful song that he sang for his grandma that was like really, really well made. It was got a thunderous voice. But anyways,
I was waiting for that anyways like 5 minutes ago.
but yeah.
Listen.
Just
quick,
that
quick
was
shout,
our own PAX panel thing.
I want to say something about the cats themselves, and not some of the random people we met while we were there. You know, like I came from about an hour away, and I did not pack a PlayStation 5 or a PSVR2 in my luggage. The number of cats that came from overseas.
Yeah.
And brought their PlayStation 5s, PlayStation 5 Pros, and their PSVR 2 headsets in their luggage to fly overseas and get thrown around or whatever it might happen. Like these guys risked life and limb, if that's the expression, to get their shit over to PAX so that we could play this stuff all weekend long. And like you said, Mara was there again this year, brought her PSVR 2 headset. I mean, like, the people bringing their stuff in so we can all just, you know, we were already having a good time in the lounge, just hanging out, shooting the shit. They let us drink there. You know, they were just like pouring the cups, and so everyone was drinking, just having a good time. And but yeah, the addition of having the PSVR 2 playing up on the social screen and people playing actual PSVR 2 there just made it like really feel official. It made it feel like, hey, this is what we're here for, right? This is like what our community was founded on. And so having that stuff there, just massive shout out to everybody who brought their stuff so that we could all play while we hung out.
For real. Last year it was just Mara that brought her PS5 and PSVR 2. This year we had two PS5 Pros, which was the first time I ever got to play on a PS5 Pro. Now that I think about it, I'm like, oops, I forgot to play No Man's Sky on it. Check it out. But that's okay. That's okay. We still did a bunch of other things. We had two PS5 Pros because Looper, of course, was there. Shout out Looper. And Tom brought his PS5 Pro. And then we had three PSVR 2 headsets. We had like Latin, shout out Latin, the Game Hound brought his headset. Looper has his headset. So we actually had like 3, 4 or something.
Fritz brought his too, right?
I don't think Fritz brought his, but long story short, we had a lot of PS5s and PSVR 2 headsets there, and we were running the lobby of this hotel like it was a PAX booth with tons of setups and helping people get stuff on and play games and play good games. It was just another year where it was like just this amazing like experience where, you know, I'm so proud of this community for you know, getting people to you know, get curious by seeing it and then get them to play it.
Yeah. Let's hit up some of these tips before if we fall too far behind. We got Gamecat, specifically White Tiger, with the Canadian $2, says Tabor is the firewall 0 hour of PSVR 2. period. I'm so happy to hear that because I just didn't know who that game was going to resonate with. I didn't know if it was going to hit as hard on PSVR2 as it did with the Quest crowd. And it sounds like everyone who's jumping in there, like with some trepidation, of course, people are scared to lose their loot, right? But man, take the time, learn the game. I've still got a lot more to learn. I think he's right. I think this could be the big multiplayer shooter of our generation. Or of this generation.
Yeah, I don't know about the generation, but
so far.
so quick correction. Apparently, Fritz did have his PS5. Tom corrected me. What up? Somebody, no, 12, the backlogged Gamecat. The other 12 that we have apparently. But yeah, so Ghost Tabor, I do think is really good. I don't know if it's like. I guess in terms of like content, like it has so much content and it works and it can be very addicting. And yeah, like I can easily see like, yeah, I've spent like 5-6 hours in it so far. And I feel like I haven't even done anything in it. Like, so you can spend a lot of time just like, it is definitely, you can spend a lot of time in this game. So I'm really excited because it did just get a couple updates as well to see what I haven't played it since pre-patch, since pre-launch. So there's some minor things that I'm curious about. And then it's got I want to say it's got adaptive triggers now. I think I heard
although I've heard the adaptive triggers are maybe a little spongy and they don't react quite the way that they do in other games. So we may have to pressure them so gently to maybe adjusting those. Well, I'll check it out. I want my own opinions on this.
Yeah, shout out goes to Tabor though for having a pretty solid launch so far. And other than Pavlov, like it is definitely some people like Breachers too. I'm not the biggest fan of Breachers, but I do think like this and Pavlov are like the two best multiplayer shooters on the platform, and like by far.
Agreed. Contractors didn't do it for me. I don't know what it was. I mean, the visuals weren't great. They looked soft and kind of boring.
Well, that's not on PSVR2 though. Contractors?
Oh my God. I thought you said Breachers, and then I thought I said Breachers, and then apparently you said Breachers and I said Contractors.
Yeah, okay. You're talking about Breachers. Yeah, Breachers.
Somebody put me to bed. Somebody put me to bed. Come snuggle, everybody. Let's go. Awesome Tatum with the $5 tip says best damn community ever. And I want to give a shout out to people like Awesome Tatum, who, despite dragging his wife and 2 kids all the way up to New England, all the way up to the PAX just to hang out with us, literally for like not even a full day, right? Like this is why it's the best community ever, is because they're willing to just absolutely ruin their wives and kids' days in order to come hang out with us.
They seem like they had fun. And,
they were great.
But absolutely, I told you, man, these military guys, they don't mess around. Like they know their mission and they know how to execute their mission. And he was like, family road trip, everybody get in the van. And it was lovely meeting his wife and kids too.
Both of his kids were dressed up like Hatsune Miku, and it was just like adorable. And and his wife, I was like, "You having fun?" And she's like, "I'm just happy that he's having fun." And I was like, "That's so cute." So, but yeah. So if everyone remembers, there was a Mario Kart 8 tournament, and we were so excited to watch Tatum lose. And
what happened with that? I don't know what happened.
Okay, well then fucking get ready, because here's the story.
Okay.
So I show up with, ready to record, ready to mic him up, ready to take the whole thing really serious and be like, here we are, the Mario Kart 8 tournament at PAX East, Gamecat Meetup 2025, and we've got our very own Awesome Tatum ready to here we go. And we sort of just like we meet up there, and the instructions are so bad. It's like we don't even know what room we're supposed to be in. Then when we finally figure out what room we're supposed to be in, it turns out that they don't actually have switches for you to play on, like Nintendo Switches, or have everything set up. You have to bring your own, which he had, but he didn't have Mario Kart downloaded. And so it was just like, and there was like absolutely no Wi-Fi in that goddamn convention center. And so it was like we just didn't have a place for him to play. And so it was like, boom, we had to opt out. So that it's such a big build-up for a very, very quick letdown. So we had to
remember when I told you that I was the plan B, Brian?
Right, in case the condom breaks. Yeah.
Yep. So I I did play some Mario Kart. while at PAX, because there was an arcade room that they had. If you remember,
Yes.
some of you cats remember, we walked by and like we did like a double take. We were
I
like,
got
"Wait,
footage.
what? There's
Yeah.
there's a room here that's just arcade machines, like real arcade cabinets in a big circle, and then some around the back of the thing. They had everything from some of my favorites, like House of the Dead 2. They had this. They had, of course, they had X-Men and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the most popular ones. They had Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, a bunch of other things. But one of them they had was a Mario Kart arcade machine. There was two Mario Kart arcade machines with the wheel and the
You
seats.
sit inside.
And
Yeah. It's good.
so the first Friday when I got up early, I ran. I didn't realize, like, the floor is supposed to like open at 10, but what they do is they queue it up, and they only allow like the exhibitors and certain vendors on the floor before then. Basically, there's a line that queues up before then, and then and it goes like all around the building, and then once that runs out, then they open up all the doors. So it actually, the main doors kind of open up at like 10:30. And so Dan and I ran into Dan, like he just showed up, and he's dressed in some awesome, I don't know, it was like,
Dan?
yeah, To the Top. Okay. Dan.
Yep.
To the developer of To the Top, now works at Skydance, worked at Behemoth Everything. Shout out Dan, who was there. Amazing dude as well. But he shows up in like some, like, I don't know, like I thought it was like Jack Sparrow or like Victorian. He looked like a Bloodborne character. I don't even know what it was, but it was cool looking. He got compliments on it, and we were. But anyways, so he showed up there, and we were like, dude, we don't want to wait in line. Like by the time we get through this line, the doors are going to open. So we went to the arcade, and I raced him in some Mario Kart, and we were going back and forth. Did you know about this? I've never seen this before, but this Mario Kart machine, it takes your picture of your face.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot about that, or I've never seen that. I don't know. But the Mario Kart game was super fun. It was really, really awesome. And we were going back and forth. We were like first and second place. I was hitting him with something. He was hitting me with something. And it was just back and forth the entire race. And then at the very end, he hits me with something. And then I either missed or like I shoot too early and I don't tag him with it. And then he gets the win on me. Yeah. So good job to you. He is 1-0 versus me in arcade Mario Kart.
That's great. I didn't know you got a chance to play it. I really we saw that on our way out one night, right? Where we were trying to get to dinner or hit up a panel or something at some point, and I didn't. We were looking for the Batman History of Batman. It was on the way to History. No, it was leaving History of Batman, I think. Okay.
Or going to it. I don't know.
Whatever. It was one of those where we were passing it, and it was just one of those things where there were just so many of these rooms that we didn't have a chance, even during the amount of time that we were there, to really see and do everything that interested us. And so for me, it was when we saw it at the first time I walked in, I tried to like kind of videotape the entire room just to show people like what was there. But I never got a chance to go back and actually spend some quality time in there playing some old school arcade cabinets that you just don't see anymore. So I'm glad you got a chance to do it, because that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was super fun. The only one that I missed that I really would have liked to play was House of the Dead 2, because I've played, I don't know if every, but just about every House of the Dead, and I love it so much. That one hits me in the feels. That, as Sergeant Frosty would say, that's like my childhood, like really. But that was super cool. But yeah.
Hold on. Gamecat, specifically White Tiger with the Canadian $5 tip, says sub numbers. GoFundMe versus 2024 was up 65%. Which is insane, right? I think last year we were trying to raise $5,000. This year we were trying to raise $12,000. And yeah, so numbers were up dramatically this year. He says subscriber growth was around 15% versus PAX 2024. Great job all. And all together, we can keep PSVR2 alive. Absolutely, man. This is a team effort, big time. And you know what? I think the message that we're going to deliver you today, and then the message that we got personally coming out of PAX, is that it really takes all of us. We might be a small community, but we're one of the biggest PSVR2 communities there is. And we're probably the biggest PSVR2 exclusive community there is, right? There are bigger VR communities out there. But when it comes to just like spreading the word of PSVR2 and convincing developers to port their game to PSVR2, we're it. Like we are the people who need to be the loudest and just suggesting to people, hey, this would kill it on PSVR2. This game would work so great in VR. And not to completely give up the ghost, but I was expecting to get a lot of pushback from flat screen developers about bringing their game into VR, and I will tell you that we got none. We literally, as far as I'm concerned, I talked to a lot of developers, interviewed a lot of developers. You're going to see those conversations soon enough on the channel. No pushback from any of them. All of them thought that their games on VR would be a great idea.
Yeah, we surprised the hell. So that was part of my game plan that, you know, I wasn't sure if it would work or not, but it seemed like it did. And it was just an idea that I was playing with, that, like, you know, something, you know, make the best of it. They don't have a VR panel. They don't have a, you know, whatever. But they have a history with PSVR. Let's go talk to them. And we surprised the heck out of some developers that were, I kid you not, like their eyes like lit up, and they obviously they had some, like I said, they had some games on PSVR 1 and they had kind of moved on business wise, like with their business. Some of them changed the publishers, some things like this.
Let's talk about it. Like we let's not dance around this one. I think it's so important that we kick off. We don't need to go into every single game developer that we interviewed, but I think we should call this one out by name right now. We went down to see Anshar Studios, who obviously brought Detached and Telefrag to PSVR 1. Detached being a game that we've recommended to everybody and we loved, and it's still unparalleled as far as like a VR space sim type game, unparalleled in VR as far as I'm concerned. And so we get down there, and we just go up to the booth and we say, hey, my name's Brian, this is AJ, we run Without Parole and PSVR Underground, and you guys made, as if we're teaching the person who's running the booth, you guys made Detached back in 2018. And he goes, oh, right, Detached. Yeah, that was like one of the first projects I worked on at Anshar. And now this immediately, AJ, was eye-opening, because we kind of assumed a studio like Anshar would just hire somebody to run their booth for them, right? Like, they're not going to travel from Poland. We didn't expect that the person running the booth would be like somebody who's been with the studio for so long. And so we're like, what's your name? And he goes, Jacob. And I was like, Jacob Quinta? And he was like, yeah. I was like, dude, you're the one who sent me my review key fucking 8 years ago, whatever it was. 8 years ago.
Yeah, me as well. He was there. Yeah. He was like their, PR guy or like their marketing kind of guy or whatever. And it was his first project. He was kind of new to the team, and Detached was his first project. And dude, yeah, I was like, dude, I know how to spell your name. Like, because it's like, I was like, dude, we were like, we know you. Like, you sent us our review keys 8 years ago when Detached launched. And so we had a wonderful conversation with him. He was so excited, and it was so great to see that, just like, even though they've mostly moved on, there has been some updates with Detached, but on like the PC side, you could tell that this game has a really special place in his heart, and seems like in some of the team's heart, not only because, like, that being one of his first things, but you could instantly see that, like, the passion was there and how excited he was. And it was, let me just tell you, I knew this was going to completely blindside him, like, if this worked. And I love how well this worked, because he was so surprised. He was just running a bunch of flat screen stuff like that they were doing, like some other work, and he was just so into the conversation, telling us all about Detached and like the kind of history of it. And then of course, one thing that we did when we had these conversations where we were like, okay, so what do we need to do to get this over to PSVR2 now? And a lot of the developers that we spoke to, they all had pretty much the same answer. And that is the messages. When you guys go out there and you tweet at them, when you email them, and they see that stuff. And not only do they see it, it helps create the demand, but it also gives them ammunition to make it happen as well. Because if they need publisher funding from either independent publishers or Sony or whatever it is, you literally give them ammunition to go, look, there's demand for this. We want to make this happen, but we can't do it without your help. And look at all these comments saying to please make it happen. So this trend that we've been seeing of this lately, this is working. This is actually making a difference, making things happen. Remember Zero Caliber tweeting out and being like, hey, do you think we should bring this to PSVR 2 or whatever? And then they had like a massive response, and now it's official, confirmed that both Zero Caliber 1 and 2 are coming to PSVR 2. This really makes a huge difference. And obviously you were telling him some other things about information about kind of like what to look out for, what things, people to get in contact with. It was awesome, man. It was really, really awesome.
I will say that, when we went and talked to Jacob and mic'd him up and it was like, do you mind if we interview you, not about any of the games that you're showing here at PAX, right? In my head, I was like, oh God, he's going to be like, oh, these guys, these VR guys, right? He's like, I thought the mentality of anybody like this was going to be Detached is our past, VR is our past, Telefrag was our past, and this is what we're doing now. Why don't you guys want to talk about the games we're working on now? That was not the case at all. You could tell that Jacob was like super. I mean, he when we finished our conversation with him, talking strictly about Detached and VR and the potential for PSVR 2, which again was nothing that Anshar Studios was at PAX for. He said, "You guys just made my day," and yeah. I was blown away by that. Like it hit me, It hit me in the feels, man. Like it was pulling on my heartstrings, being like, "Dude, this guy has this passion for VR, and it's sort of like he can't do it because it's not financially viable for his company right now, right?" And it's like, so like we're there. And like we're like presenting the hope that like, hey, this is still financially viable. This is still a possibility for your company, for the future, for your games that you love so much. And it was like, man, all of these developers, there is this passion for VR. They just need to know that there are people out there that will buy it if it comes to PSVR 2. And you're right, AJ. Every single developer said the same thing. We said, how do we get this PSVR 2? And they said, with your comments, right? Tell us that's what you want. Like leave comments, join our Discord, respond with hashtag PSVR 2, whatever it is. Tell us that you will buy it if we bring it. That was amazing, great, because this feels so old school in some ways, right? It's like, if you want it bad enough, it can happen, right? Yeah. It's not just about these powerful billion-dollar corporations. We're talking about a lot of small developers and small publishers who are like, yeah, if you're gonna buy it, yeah, we'll make it, right,
yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of them, I think, would be happy just to make their money back, just to like they will settle for just making their money back.
Yeah, who said that to us?
That was Jacob. Yeah, he was like, we would do it if we knew we could at least just make our money back. That way, we don't lose thousands of dollars. Actually, I think multiple developers said that. So pick and choose wisely, and Aceville has a good point as well. It says, please tweet/DM respectfully, just saying, yes, that's also going to be important. If you're like, I'm not going to buy this game sucks without VR, fuck you guys, like, yeah, they're not going to do it. But if you are like, hey, like, do it, if you frame it a certain way, and especially in an excited, positive way, that can have a really positive impact on it. Like we've seen with, like I said, Zero Caliber, or there was this Toy Soldiers game that was doing it. Like they were getting a lot of positive comments and everything like that. And but yeah, so it would be amazing, I think, to see Detached come back. That is a really like hardcore space sim. That is still to this day one of my favorite experiences that I think I've ever had in VR, just because the realistic like space physics and the. But it's also like a pretty good game too. Like there's some gamey stuff to do, a little bit of storytelling stuff. That game is actually really, really good in many, many ways, and that was really cool. Another developer that we do have a full interview with Jacob there.
I
Talking
think it was
about
like the longest one. I felt so bad for bothering him, and he's just like, the conversation went for like 10 minutes. It was great.
Like you said, man, you know, it warmed my heart too, and I could tell that he was really excited. It really caught him off guard for somebody to approach him. That's the thing is, you know, they can have like people tweeting at them. They could see stuff in passing. To physically walk up to this person and go, hey, we love this game and we would love to see it on PSVR2. I think that is like really, really effective. So, you know, mission one of if we get Detached on PSVR2, we can do this with your guys' help. That would be really freaking sweet. But there was another developer that has a history with PSVR, Brian, that we went and spoke to. Does that mean you need me to keep going?
Yeah, just keep talking. Listen, I'm just producing the show. It's your show. Go.
Tripwire Interactive was also there. And for those who don't know, they make the Killing Floor series. At least that's their most popular thing that they're known for, is the Killing Floor series. We had the opportunity to speak with one of the developers there, a couple of developers, but mainly like I think he was like one of the directors there. I don't remember. I remember his name was Brian because
he gets so excited when we were both Brian's, and then he was like, "Well, hold on, Brian with a Y?" And I said yes, and he like grabbed me and gave me the biggest bear hug I've ever had in my life. And I was like, "Whoa, Brian's unite, dude!"
I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna explode! Don't put two Brians together." But anyways, no, he was really, really cool guy, really, really sharp dude, and really funny as well. But we had this conversation about you know, this one you interviewed him, and I filmed this one, and you talked to him about Killing Floor Incursion, and you know, either you know what they need to do to get back into VR. And what was his reaction, Brian?
They just need to see the support from the community. That's literally
that's not what that is true.
Yeah.
But
what did I miss?
He goes, dude, we've been getting bombarded with VR requests. Like apparently a lot of people have been asking Tripwire about, you know, when you come back to VR, when, you know, bring Killing Floor Incursion back, or add VR to Killing Floor 3, 4, which is their upcoming 4 is their upcoming one. He was like, dude, we've been getting that request a lot lately, to the point to where
it's not 3.
No, it's 4 that I think is coming out.
Or God, I miss an entire Killing Floor.
It could be 3. I may be mixing it with Borderlands.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
But yeah, because maybe 2. Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah. So it was a similar conversation where, you know, we talked a little bit about like Killing Floor. It's 3. It is 3. Sorry, I was confusing it with Borderlands 4, which is also coming. Thank you, Cats, for correcting me. But yeah, so we talked to him about that, and apparently they've already been getting tons of requests, and they said, you know, get with this guy and just let him know. He thinks that with a little bit more of a push, it sounds like we can also get either Killing Floor Incursion to PSVR 2, or we can get the Killing Floor 3 to get a VR mode. So whatever people are doing out there, keep doing it. And if you haven't yet, you know, keep sending Send it to their CEOs and their executives and their those people, like let those people know that you want to see that happen, and it just might happen.
Yeah, this is this was a more difficult interview to conduct because even though Brian was very, very accommodating and very nice, and we bonded right off the bat, it was legit. You kind of feel for the studio because you start talking about VR and you start talking about this or that or whatever, or hopes and dreams, and it's like the fact is like they are all hands on deck. That's what he kept saying, all hands on deck with Killing Floor 3, getting that out the door, making sure it's like polished on day one, and it's like they can't even think about the possibility of there being a VR mode right now, right? They got to get this game completed and finished, and it's like you don't want to like just like hammer home like, oh, VR or no buy. Like it's like no. He's got to have a little bit of compassion. It's like these guys are trying their hardest to get their new game out, and so really make sure that like if you are tweeting at them, make sure that if you are messaging them, like do it with the understanding that like they don't have any spare individuals at the studio right now. Everyone who's doing anything at that studio is working on Killing Floor 3. There are no side projects, no other games being worked on, no VR modes. Right, let them
resources.
Let him get this out the door, and then we can pound them a lot harder once it's out the door about the VR mode. Right.
Yeah. So. I would settle for a Killing Floor incursion, just bringing that to PSVR2. But obviously the coolest thing they could possibly do would be to add VR to their newest game, Killing Floor 3. So that was really, really cool. They were actually really, really nice people as well, and they seemed really cool. So Detached and Killing Floor, guys, these are our next mission objectives, should you choose to be brave and accept. But there was a couple more. There was a couple more. Obviously, we went to this Gearbox panel where Randy Pitchford was actually there. And you went to
the Gearbox panel. Yep. They saved me a seat, and then I walked up and they were like, "Oh, we're capping the line," and I was like, "No, my friends are in there and they have a seat held for me." And she's like, "The line is capped, you can't come in."
Yeah.
And then like Kill Artist is like sending me pictures, being like, "There's a whole row of empty seats next to me," and I was like, "I know, they're not letting me in." So not only did I miss Greg Miller's story time to kick off because of my midnight walk review, I was up till 5 a.m. finishing my midnight walk review, and I was like, I can either just head to PAX right now at 6 a.m. or I can actually get a few hours of sleep, and I decided to get some sleep. But then there was, but then I also missed the other big panel, and that was the Gearbox panel. But I'm glad you guys got to go.
Yeah. Well, just so you know, they did film this, and it is live streamed, so you can watch the show from YouTube. If you missed it, if you happen to missed it, want to see it. They put on a pretty good show, and they just basically shared some more information about Borderlands. They went into a little bit more about classes and features, things like that, and then of course Randy did a magic trick, pretty good magic trick too. But this was one that I was. So here's the situation with Borderlands. I was really hoping, because they said they were going to do a Q&A. I was really hoping that I was going to get the chance to walk up there and ask about, in front of all these people, butter them up, tell them how much we love Borderlands 2, because we did. Borderlands 2 was the God's honest truth was that like I didn't get into the Borderlands series until Borderlands 2 got VR, and then I fell in love with it. I did not care about it beforehand, and I tried. It just wasn't vibing with me. But what I did here, this is the tricky part, is that there wasn't any Q&A. I did make a tweet with, dude, they had some amazing Borderlands cosplayers there. They were phenomenal how they looked, and I've got pictures in the Discord there. Well, I'm sure we'll show some pictures later.
Did you see not to go off completely on a tangent here, but did you see the girl who was cosplaying as Aloy, who fucking nailed it? Down to wearing the right contacts to change her eye color, the freckles on her face. If you were like, oh, Aloy's a real person, I met her. She was
really.
Did
you get a picture with her?
Oh, absolutely. Don't worry. I got video. I got video and pictures of all the best cosplayers there, and that'll definitely be included in the compilation. But I was blown away. I still in my head being like, she was Aloy. Just fucking nailed it. Yeah, just hundreds of hours of work on the costume. Crazy.
I can't wait to see that. But to get back on track, here's the situation with Borderlands, guys, because I know we all want Borderlands, but again, if we're not saying something, if we're not doing something, then that's it. Then there is only us and those that we can get to join us to make this kind of stuff happen. Randy Pitchford, when the PSVR 2 was announced, he tweeted out and said, "Hey, do you think we should develop for this thing?" Nobody responded to it. Like hardly anybody. I don't think it got very many, didn't have much engagement. And I can tell you right now that that's probably the point to where, like, they still supported Borderlands 2 on PSVR 1 for a while, but that's probably why we never got Borderlands 3 on PSVR 2 and things like that. But again, I do think, like, obviously he likes the thing. He does seem like he is very passionate about gaming. I don't know much about him outside of this. I know a lot of people, like, he comes up as a controversial person sometimes, I think, for some reason that I'm not aware of. But what I do know is that you can tell this guy is very passionate and loves his Borderlands series very much, cares about it a lot, and probably would love to get as many people as possible. And I do think we can, if we do it the right way, we bug him the proper way, emails, tweets, engagement, likes, supporting each other in this. I do believe there is a chance that, like I said, man, if we got to start with getting Borderlands 2 back, I'd settle for that. Obviously, I want Borderlands 3, which I've played with UEVR and is freaking awesome. And then I would want Borderlands 4 as well. Like, I want this to be something that comes back. But again, we have to put our money where our mouth is. But yeah, so that one's going to be a tougher one to get, I think. But I do think it is something achievable because it is something that he himself has expressed, kind of gauged the audience for it. So I do have a tweet right now where I set it up to where, like, hey, like, these cosplayers are amazing, and you should go see them if you have X. Go look at my Twitter or whatever, and there's an amazing cosplayers. And I also added, that's to get the attention, and then I also added, like, dude, I love Borderlands 2. Like, what do we need to do to get, like, another one and that. But then there's basically one more game that at least for now I think that we should talk about. If you have anything to add on Borderlands?
No, I'm good with Borderlands. I didn't even get to attend the panel, so that was all you. I'm really curious what the next one you have is, because I've sort of just been curious where you're going with this conversation.
Well, the final one that I played was, or the final thing that I had here. I mean, there's other stuff to talk about, but again, we'll have videos. Well, there's more stuff, but just overview. Was this our good friends over at Mastiff that made Home Sweet Home? We went and showed up. We met the CEO of that company, and we played a little new game that they have coming out in early access called Tunnels.
Yeah. So just to clarify, obviously Mastiff is more of a publisher than anything else. I think they did do oh shit, what was that wave shooter thing that was pretty bad? Whatever it was.
Oh, Guns and Stories?
No, that was different.
Oh, that they published?
Yeah, I forget, but because Home Sweet Home was developed by somebody else. I think they might have, like, helped co-develop it. This is also something that they're publishing and not developing. But regardless, it was the Mastiff booth, and we actually hung out with the CEO of Mastiff and played Tunnels. And it's coming out, I believe, this week on Quest.
Yeah,
all Quest platforms. And oh yeah, there it is, May 15th. So it's like legit 3 days away. Very, very Quest looking. I mean, it was a lot of very simple environments, but I'll tell you that even playing this thing, which just has you, I guess I should explain what the fuck we're doing here. You're legit just, at least at the beginning of the game, going spelunking. You're making your way through tunnels. You're crouching. You're grabbing the edges of the walls of the cave and kind of pulling yourself around a little bit. And then suddenly there's creatures. And you're hearing them scurry around the tunnels around you. You have to kind of keep looking behind you, or anytime there's another passage that breaks off, in the tunnel. You look down to make sure there's not a creature there. You've got a flashlight. Boom, you shine the flashlight at them and they run away. But I got to tell you that even with the quest style graphics and even playing it on the floor of PAX where it's a ton of noise, that I thought this game was incredibly effective at what it was trying to do in terms of just being like scary. Even with its simple graphics, I was like, man, this is actually right up my alley. Right? It doesn't seem like it's it's not breaking any new ground as far as VR games go. But I was like, no, I would absolutely play this if it came to PSVR2.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Honestly, it's like one of the. I know it has its limitations, but despite that, I like the concept. I did like the immersion. Yeah, because I'm kind of a stickler about like graphics and stuff. Like Alchemy Labs was there, and they had some game that looks like every other Alchemy Labs game, and I was like, I couldn't even be bothered to play it. But I'm not saying that and I don't mean that in like it looked bad or anything. I'm just like, I am so over that formula and that look, and it's like, it was something with like hand tracking, but this
this looks like that though, doesn't it? Like this looks very simple. It looks questified. It's a 2-person dev team, right? So like we don't expect too much.
It is, yeah. It is a little questy looking, but I thought it worked. It didn't. A lot of the times like that doesn't work for me. I still thought it was, it had the atmosphere. It was kind of darker because you're literally in caves or tunnels. Yeah, caves, tunnels, and you have this flashlight. And you have to crawl through the tunnel and survive. And there's like creatures that pop up at you, and you have to use your flashlight to like shine with them, and you got to refill the batteries, follow the crystals, and there's like some climbing stuff. I even though it needed a little bit of work or whatever, I actually enjoyed playing this, and yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it did deliver this kind of claustrophobic and somewhat like panicky horror state to it, like where I was like crawling through the tunnel really fast. Like it worked. Putting somebody in a small, very tight tunnel with limited light and then having creatures also coming after you, I think that's pretty cool. A pretty bold concept that is right in line with like Home Sweet Home and some of their history stuff. Well, they did say they didn't develop this though. Was like,
right. I think this is Nomad Monkey, like literally a 2-person dev team.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's fine. It reminds me like of a very almost like a more primitive version of what was happening in Subside, right? Because like the Subside was very, very effective at having you being concerned about like being underwater and not being able to come up for air and like navigating these really, really tight areas underneath, in these underground caves or underwater caves. And so there was like this added pressure in that game, in terms of like dying or whatever and navigating like your own claustrophobia. So I feel like this has potential. And, and is it coming to PSVR 2? I mean, my guess is likely. Right, but at the same time, being able to talk to the CEO at Mastiff, being able to talk to all these flat screen developers, all these VR developers, these are not. It's not as simple as just being like, oh yeah, we want to do it, end of story, and it'll happen. There's we got a lot more insight into the industry talking to some of these guys, and
it's not as easy as just wanting to.
Yeah, AJ, like this is. The thing about what we do so frequently is like the people who send us review keys are just nameless people on another side of an email, or not nameless, faceless people on the other side of an email. All we have is their name, and we play the game and we review the game, and that's never going to change, right? That's how it has to be. Like I don't want deeper relationships with most of these people because I never want that to get in the way of an honest review, but. Right. But when you go and talk to the people who are making the games and you see their passion for what they're doing, and it's just like, and then you see all these comments from people being like lazy developers. And it's just like, there's just not many lazy developers out there. There's clearly, there's clearly money grabs and shovelware out there that are just trying to steal your money. But what way more often than not, it's these people who are so fucking dedicated to making the best game that they can. Did you see Pin City?
I played it last year, so I didn't go looking for it this time.
Okay, so that's the funny part about Pin City, right? So Pin City, here's the trailer. Pin City's demoing their game, their bowling game, on Quest
It's like a mix between it's like bowling with the
with a twist.
with like a mini golf twist.
Yeah, it's so like actually, and this trailer is like a year or two old, and so it doesn't even really convey the true feeling of the game that we saw this year. But it was funny because last year we saw Pin City. We're just walking around looking for any VR that we can find at PAX, and we see Pin City, and we're like,
it was like
oh my
one
God.
of two things,
right? We're like, oh God, these people are making a bowling game on Quest. Like, Jesus, there's a million of these things. What are they doing, right? And so, and it was, and I just sort of ignored it last year, and then this year, we were walking around and we see Pin City again. I think they might have even had the exact same booth. It just felt like they were in the exact same place as last year. I was like, did you guys ever leave? Like, or have you just been here all year?
Do they still have that person in costume dancing? Did they have the girl dressed up as the bowling pin dancing around?
Pin? I didn't see the bowling pin this
adorable.
year. But Miles and I did interview the developers, and I was like, and I was basically like, guys, we saw your game here last year, and now you're here again this year, and it's still not out. What the fuck have you been doing? Like, how is this game still not out? And they were like, the funny part is like, this is our third year at PAX. Obviously, you guys weren't here in 2023. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, what have you been doing? And it's two people. Oh crap, I'm gonna get their names wrong. Carol and not Kyle. Shit, that was the other team. It's gonna drive me crazy. I'll get it. But yeah, two-person dev team, and they've just been. They're working full-time jobs, and luckily they really like their full-time jobs, and they're doing this on the side. And so every year they bring it to PAX, and they get feedback from people playing it, saying, like the first year or two, it was all about the physics, and like, oh, this doesn't quite feel right when you roll the ball this way. The ball doesn't move exactly how I'd expect it to move, this, that, whatever. And then as of last year, all people said was, this is great. We want more variety, right? Because what happens is, it's like, yeah, sometimes you see these lanes that look like regular bowling lanes, but then the floor opens up like it's a big machine, and like a new floor comes up, and then you have like this crazy other mini game to play, and there's flames and fire. I mean, and it's just it looks so much better than it does in this old 2-year-old trailer. Right? I wish I had something newer to show you. And so last year they were like, oh yeah, we just want more mini games. We want more, more variety. We want it to be crazier and bigger. And so that's what they spent the whole last year doing. And now it's up to like 50 different mini games that you can play, in this bowling alley. And it just brings you to one after another after another. And it was like, and so I was like, so what's up with the PSVR2 version? Like the last 3 years, you've been demoing this on Quest, and dude, you should have seen these two developers' eyes light up when I mentioned PlayStation. They were like, that would be a dream come true. Like our favorite games are on PlayStation. We grew up playing PlayStation. They started talking about their favorite PS1 games. You know what I mean? And like,
yes, right. I know exactly what they mean, Brian.
It's just so again, it's like these people who are so passionate about what they're doing, and if they could find a way to get this onto PSVR2, they will do it. Right. And so, fortunately I was there with Miles. And so Miles is like, hey, I work for a company called Flat to VR, or I work, it's like they help studios like this and Impact Reality. Right. So it was interesting to be like, oh, like these guys could actually help them. Not that this is going to happen or anything, but it's just, sometimes it's about just forming those correct connections. But anyway, I started the story off by saying, what we do is sometimes very isolating, and we don't get to meet the people behind the games. And getting to meet the people behind all of these games was just it was kind of a beautiful thing, man. Like I don't want to make it sappier than it was, but it felt really good. I felt like I made like amazing connections with some people making very, very cool games. And I mean, I had a great time, and it was a very different thing for me to do than the normal thing I do on a day-to-day basis Without Parole. So I just want to say thank you to all the cats who helped get us there and allowed us to make all these connections and play all these cool games and convince a bunch of people to bring their game to PSVR 2. We have way more stuff to share with you in the future.
Yeah. I mean, if we really want this thing to keep going and keep growing, I mean, like you said, we are the last line of defense. It is down to basically us now. We've lost Shuhei. We've lost Sean Layden. We've lost, a bunch of people, but there's still people out there that want to do this, and all it takes is to show that there is a community. We carried a lot of the end of the PSVR, community into PSVR 2, and You know, the truth is like the challenges ahead are bigger this time, but at the same time, we have evolved like as people. We have evolved as a community. We have new resources that we have. We also, there's a lot of people out there that you know that do want to see these things happen as well. There's other communities as well now that are starting to pop up that are getting more vocal and kind of mobilizing, unifying a little bit. That's what it's going to take, is everybody kind of working together here and you know, doing your part of the puzzle to figure it out to make this happen. But if there's one thing I've learned is like this is achievable, like especially you know, starting small and kind of working our ways up. This is something that's achievable. So it is really cool and exciting. I didn't actually know about that you met with the Penn City people and had these conversations, so that's super cool. You know, it reminds me of kind of like how I've been really fighting with, like, for the V-Racer Hoverbike devs, the Vertex Breakers, that Wipeout / Jet Moto game. Like, I've been really like I can hardly do anything, but believe me when I say, like, any chance I get, there's stuff I'm pushing and trying to help them. And
I think with the V-Racer Hoverbike people,
and do make sure I don't say anything either, because I can't say anything about that. So just throwing that out there before whatever you say. I don't know what you're going to say. I'm sorry to cut you off, but there's a lot of redacted going on right now with that.
Yeah, I don't know anything like that. That's your thing. I don't fucking care about Jet Moto. That game sucks.
What?
Just kidding.
Oh my god. Fine. I'm gonna find a Battle Arena to Shenden VR and make this happen.
Right. And that was the last we've ever seen of that team.
Just to spite you.
Yeah, no, the V-Racer Hoverbike is exactly what we're talking about, right? Like they put out a tweet about, you know, coming to Quest 3, and 0 Quest 3 people responded. And hundreds of PSVR2 gamers responded saying, we'd love this on PSVR2, right? We are a much more vocal community. We are a community that's much more willing to pony up the cash and say, hey, we'll buy this if it comes to PSVR 2, right? Especially if you pay attention to the community and say, oh yeah, it's 90 native, it's using adaptive triggers, it's using headset rumble, it's using, right? That's the kind of stuff that's really going to sell us. And so I know for a fact that the V-Racer Hoverbike people were like, shit, it's, you know, we made this Quest announcement and no one cared. Right, but everybody on PSVR 2 is super excited for the game to come to PSVR 2. Right, that's you guys are very vocal. You made it clear that you wanted this. So, like, I would be shocked. If we don't get some announcement of this after the Quest 3 release is all taken care of.
Virtual Strangers, Wes in the chat. What up, Wes? So good to see you and Michelle. It was lovely spending another PAX with y'all. Y'all are awesome. And he says, virtual, just a PSA real quick to everybody out there listening right now. He says, by the way, we need PSVR2 testers in Impact Labs. Loads of play tests coming up. Ping me on Discord if interested. So just a little public announcement. And also I said, yeah, where can I audition for this? And did I get the part?
My God, I'm so done. I'm so done playing broken and busted PSVR 2
we
games.
do that anyways every time we review a game.
That's what I'm saying.
Access, right?
That's what I'm saying. By the time they send out keys that are supposed to be review ready, it's just like, oh, ignore the fact that this game looks like shit. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, I'll just ignore that. No problem.
Yeah, it doesn't work for you, but there's probably a lot of cats out there. We got a lot of, you know, good gamers in our community, and you know, people that, you know, really would probably be willing to work. I wouldn't be surprised. Like put in real work, you know, not just be like, it's cash grab.
Right.
I don't. Anyways. But yeah, man. So you know, I'm really excited. That's kind of like an overview of some of the PSVR2 developer interactions things.
Yeah.
The only other thing. What's that?
I would say it was a really productive PAX. It felt really good. We did everything we set out to do, and bro, like, I not even kidding. I think there's going to be at least two more PSVR2 games coming our way because of what we did at PAX this year. I think we convinced at least 2 developers to bring their games to PSVR2.
I think if we manage to get Detached and one of the killing floors to PSVR2, I will consider this a huge successful mission.
Yeah, those weren't even
I
the
mean,
games
it
I was
already
thinking
was.
of, but sure.
It already was. But yeah, I mean, if there's more, as well. But this was already a success in my books. Just just getting out there, putting in that work to help, kind of like behind the scenes. But I think if those two, those were two things that I saw as like actually could happen. And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna release some videos, some interviews. We'll be making social media posts. All of your support on there as well really really helps. So we all we have is this platform on YouTube to just shout these things from the top of a mountain. So that's the best thing we can do. So we'll do that. But I gotta give it another shot. I'm sure there's like I'm just trying to think of like all the other. There's so many amazing stories which will probably pop up.
We can save those for another time.
Okay.
I feel like we gave a pretty good overview and gave people a lot of ideas. If you're not sure what we did all weekend, go join our Discord and go look at the 2025 Gamecat Meetup channel, and you can see all the food we ate.
Dude, that's what I was wanting to mention. Oh my god, dude, the food is still so good. It's literally the best seafood ever up there. I got my clam chowder. Twice. And the first time I got a cup, and I was like, I really wish I got more of this. And the second time I got a big old bowl of it, and I was like, okay, this might be too much. And then I ate the whole thing so fast, and I was like, I could eat another bowl, to be honest. But dude, it was so cool having the clam chowder. I had a lobster roll as well, and shout out Scott, the Gamecat for life. He came out here really. Scott is such an amazing person. Like he's such a goofball in the chat all the time, but he's so funny, and he's got so many interesting things. Like we had so many interesting conversations. He is such a cool guy. He's what you would expect when you see him, and he was just a bundle of joy and fun. But he also got to try a lobster roll for the first time, and it was amazing seeing his reaction, just being like a lot of the cats. A lot of them had clam chowder for the first time. Some of them, like I said, from Europe and all over the place, and not everywhere has really good clam chowder like that. So it was awesome, and we got some of those reactions. We got pictures of those reactions. We've got those reactions in that Discord thing. Man, the food up there is just, the food is so killer up there. The seafood especially.
The food's great, and it does. And I remember Izzard actually posted in there. He's like the only thing I'm understanding is that was happening up at PAX was that you guys ate a lot of food, and it really, like, especially if you're just looking at the channel on Discord, it looks like the whole thing was about going to different restaurants and eating a lot of food. I feel like I didn't even like get to go to too many restaurants. Like I bailed on Pink Taco when you guys were heading out there, so that I go to a panel. I bailed on the Cuban restaurant because I needed like an hour or 2 hour nap just to be able to get back up and be able to go to Bit Brigade. And
I was gonna say we went and saw Bit Brigade, which shout out to Bit Brigade. If you don't know who that is, they do really awesome, heavy, hard rock video game covers. I used to listen to, like, when I was in high school, I used to listen to like the Neskimos. I don't know if you ever heard of them, like Neskimos. They would do these like really garage band quality recordings of like NES themes, which NES, by the way, that whole era just had some of the greatest music. That 8-bit win. That 8-bit music. I only just recently discovered Bit Brigade because it like popped up in my feed. I guess I listen to some Mega Man music every now and then. I mean, not a surprise there. And I listen to video game covers sometimes. Sometimes I love metal covers, things like that. And they popped up in my feed, and I watched it. And it was a 45-minute full playthrough of the entire Mega Man 2 soundtrack. And the second I watched it, the second I heard them play the very opening of it, I sat there and I was like, wait a minute, everything else has to stop. And I listened to the entire Mega Man 2 soundtrack all the way through. I mean, that's literally one of my top 3 favorite games of all time. The reason I started playing video games. But we went out to this concert, Brian. Luckily, I was so glad that you made it. I bailed on the Cuban restaurant as well. I did get my food later, but it was like really cold and whatnot. And it wasn't. It just didn't work as fresh. I did get the pork belly, but I couldn't even finish it because it was just like, it's not. It doesn't work when it's not fresh. But
it's not meant to be cold. No.
But they played at the main stage, the main theater. And did a little concert, and we watched them play through the entire F-Zero and Super Mario World soundtrack. While this is the unique thing that they do. While they play through these games, somebody is on stage on a couch playing speed running the games in the background behind them. And so that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I haven't been to a rock show in a while. And while I don't love the entire F-Zero soundtrack or the entire Super Mario World soundtrack, there are some bangers on there. And some of those songs translated really well, and they're just really great performers. So, and I was lucky enough to where I got to meet the bassist afterward. As a bassist, I thought it was really cool to meet the bassist of the band, who was like, I was like, this dude's really good, and had a quick conversation. They're also from Athens, Georgia, which I lived in for a little bit, and that was super cool. So, but yeah, it was a cool experience, I would say.
Yeah, it was really cool, especially like you said that there was the live streamer on stage. And they were basically playing along with him. So when he completed the race, they would go into like the end of race music, right? The between race music where you saw all the track.
Great theme, by the way.
The track times, and then and then they'd start up with the next one. Like they timed it really, really well, and same with Super Mario World. So very talented group. Again. We have so many stories, and we actually have video to accompany this. And I think you're probably going to get much more detailed explanations of some of these things. I'll have to probably narrate some of the video footage while I'm putting it together. So I think there's going to be at least I still don't know if I'm going to put it together as one mega PAX video, or if I need to break it up for people who aren't going to sit through a 2-hour ordeal. But
I think a mega PAX video would be sweet.
I mean that's probably the best thing to do. Because at least it can be one project in my head instead of 5 smaller projects that would just kill me. Yeah. But speaking of projects, AJ, we do need to talk about Pirates VR Jolly Roger, which is coming out in just a couple days. The embargo lifted today.
We do have some tips that we're behind on if you want to knock these out real quick.
Cool. Well, then we got Scally Says, who just joined the membership. Welcome to Level 1 membership, Scally Says. Thank you for the for supporting the channel. Hi Phase with the Canadian $20 tip. Says, glad you all had a great time. Happy to see you back. Meanwhile, that's just no one else gets that. Tabor, do you get, if anybody else in chat gets meanwhile? When I say meanwhile, do you have another understanding of what that word means, or is it probably just me? Forget it. Meanwhile, Tabor has no, fucking forget it, man. It's gonna be one person, and I'm gonna be like, Brian, you're fucking so dumb.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Meanwhile, Tabor has swallowed me whole. You know who else does? You know who else swallows me whole? With its depth. Love to you all. Hell yeah. Nice. My mom. My mom doesn't watch Virtual Strangers, so she doesn't get that joke. That's not gonna.
Yeah.
If she's watching right now, she's gonna be like, "What are you fucking saying, Brian? How dare you?" Yeah. Thank you very much, man. We had a great time. And I feel like. I feel like I got to apologize for this, I guess. But not really. I can't wait to review Ghost of Tabor, but I feel like that review is not going to come for a month, right? Because I want to play it over the course of the next month and really get into it, kind of treat it like Phasmo, right? Between other reviews and just kind of for funsies here and there, capture footage, and slowly build up my arsenal and really get to know that game inside out, and then put a review out next month when I've actually had a chance to play it and review it fairly. So I think you're going to hear me talking about a lot of, just like I talked a lot about Phasmo for a month or 2 or 3 or 4.
Well,
that's going to happen to Ghost of Tabor as well. So stay tuned.
That's just the other thing about this month. I mean, not only do we have the chaos with PAX, but there's like 15 releases coming out, and I mean, dude,
and more to be announced soon.
I mean, yeah, the Ghost of Tabor, yeah, that's one.
Bro, if Undead Citadel doesn't come out this month, I'm not even joking. Like I'm not even like all of the signs, all of the normal signs that we usually recognize, the way things happen on the PlayStation Store when games disappear and reappear. You'd actually be
surprised if it didn't come out?
I would be very surprised if it wasn't like a week or two away.
Yeah, like the 15th or something.
Oh God, I hope not the 15th. Like listen, the 25th, the 30th. Also, get out the do not open. Very bad dream story. That just got moved over to that one. That got moved to the 30th, which is perfect, right? It means it got out of the way of Zombie Army and a couple other games. So now it's like it'll actually have a chance to get some attention.
Good luck with that. Yeah, Slender got pushed out actually. Dude, I was literally riding the MARTA train back home from the airport an hour before this Gamescast, and I secured our Iron Guard keys. So shout out to the Iron Guard devs for hooking us up. So we have Iron Guard keys. Well, it's listed on the store as the 15th, so it might be another 15th game.
15th. Got it.
But I'm actually really excited to check that one out. It looks like a real-time strategy game that should be pretty cool. We actually we talk about it on the Gamescast from the other night.
I mean,
so I'm not going to get into it.
You read the bullet points. Does that count?
What I was going to say is that I do have a review in progress on my channel. I'm sure most of you have probably already checked it out. Thank you for that. I did manage to get like a quick review of Ghost of Tabor and Midnight Walk before leaving, like literally as I was packing. And some of you might have noticed that I was wearing an army helmet, and that's because
Jay, do this on your own channel. That's you're breaking embargo. You're breaking embargo. You broke embargo on your own channel. Don't do it on mine. Don't do it on mine. Put it down. Get it off the camera. You broke embargo on your own channel. Don't do it on mine.
Is that an actual embargoed thing?
Yep. So stay tuned. You'll see what AJ's talking about in just a little while. A little while. Just a little while. Yeah. Like, look at the fucking box, dude. It's plastered all over it.
Oh.
Yeah.
My bad. We're going to edit this out. Anyways. I have
don't
go watch my Ghost of Tabor, and don't go watch my Midnight Walk thing.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I forgot to mention it to you during PAX. Miles at one point said to me, he goes, does AJ know that that's under embargo? And I was like, oh, I haven't even picked mine up from the post office yet. So I didn't even know. So just keep, you may want to reschedule that.
Yeah. Well, I don't, you can't tell from I don't mention it or anything in the video.
Perfect.
That's the most embargo I've broken right there. Anyways,
Ian Stanbridge says it's a chainsaw situation all over again. AJ, we don't talk about chainsaws.
Let's talk about Pirates VR Jolly Roger.
We were doing tips.
Oh yeah, okay.
We are all over the place right now.
You got me all flustered now.
Yeah, it's all good. This is what happens when we don't have a run a show. We got up here and we're just we're flying by the seat of our pants for you guys because we just wanted to make sure. Like I said, AJ got in 20 minutes beforehand. He didn't have time to tell me what we were talking about because it's his show. Twitcher, the single player game cat, with the 5 quid, says, just in case any cats were in doubt, AJ in real life is just about the loveliest person you could ever hope to meet. That Brian fella is all right too.
Twitcher.
Don't let Twitcher's online persona fool you. He is a super nice, super genuine dude who is not even remotely scary. He was the one I was scared to meet. I was like, oh no, this is the day I was dreading. I thought I was safe because he's in another country, but he's flying over the Atlantic to come see us. I was like, I don't know what to expect. And he turned out to be a super fucking nice dude. And as everyone did, everyone turned out to be super nice. And so if Twitcher ever turns you off, he's just goofing.
Twitcher was definitely caught me off guard, but was also, dude, shout out to Twitcher and Slinky Wizard for coming out. It was so wonderful to meet them in person, and it was just so chill. Obviously, they stayed a little bit far away, so
Mm.
we didn't get to like always hang out, but they were, I mean, they were there a lot. So there was a couple times we got separated because of that. But no, definitely Twitcher. It was so lovely meeting you in person, and you are a very pleasant person to hang out with and a lot of fun.
Yeah, one of the things I was saying before AJ rudely derailed me earlier was that it's half of the trip was about eating, and the other half was about trying to Uber to meet up with each other constantly, and trying to get corral 20 to 25 people to the same restaurant, to the same hotel, to the same event, to the same whatever. It was a logistical nightmare sometimes. And so, man, we lost track of people. We lost, we didn't get to hang out with some people as long as we wanted to. And yeah, of course, Twitcher being in a hotel far away, it was like, but man, again, it was all worth it. It was all worth it. Because I think, a week from now, I'm not going to remember missing meals or the number of Ubers we took just to end up in the same place that we started. I'm not going to remember any of that. I'm going to remember all the great moments and all the great conversations I had and all the great people I met. We got Mad Vegan. Oh, hold on a second. I got to backtrack. Oh shit, dude. We've got a lot of tips. We've got a lot of, oh my God. We got so many tips.
You do those tips real quick. I this is not the time to bring this up, so this is the last time I'm going to mention it. But I'm not seeing what you mentioned earlier about me being embargoed on that. I don't see anywhere.
Listen, I didn't. Like I said, I haven't grabbed my shit, so I don't have any anything to reference.
Yeah. Anyways, so, I'm not gonna mention it again, but I just want to let you know that I don't like. Maybe I need to look closer, but I don't see anything anywhere.
Okay.
I'm usually
Mad
pretty
Vegan
good about that.
It seems the whole thing seemed kind of silly. It was like, why would this be embargoed? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Mad Vegan with $2 says, time to start the Euro 2026 GoFundMe. EGX. So we didn't mention this, I don't think, during today's show, but trying to figure out what to do for Gamecat Meetup 2026 has been very interesting. We've already floated a lot of suggestions. We're thinking about different places we could do it in, where that would be like super cheap hotels, super cheap airfare for people. And because this trip was cost prohibitive for us and for other people, and we want 2026 to be the biggest Gamecat meetup ever, right? We want it to be double, triple the size, and it's just, and we just want it to be fun and affordable for everybody. And so, don't start booking your PAX tickets or your PAX hotels for 2026 yet. We will keep you posted, and if you guys have suggestions, please let us know in the Discord. We are taking all suggestions. I do think it has to be in the States because a majority of our viewers, I know it doesn't seem that way sometimes, a majority of our viewers are in the States. And so, we don't want to make it impossible for them to come, but man, it would be really fun to do something outside of the States at some point. I promised myself that I would make it to Europe or the UK or something, sometime over the next year, and I would love to do that. And maybe have like a mini Gamecat meetup or something like that. Maybe not with everybody, but meet up with Miles and that kind of stuff. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
anyway,
like we come visit y'all or something.
Yeah. Well, something a little less official. Gamecat, specifically White Tiger with Canadian $2 tip, says Moonhood definitely felt the backlash on the lack of DFR. Listen, people definitely got the message across. These are standard PSVR2 features that every developer should be taking care of, or that every developer should be utilizing. When it comes to Moonhood, they're being published by Fast Travel Games. Fast Travel definitely knows their shit. I don't know who handled the port on this, but whoever handled it should have known better. The fact is, the game is still incredible. I know a lot of people wanted me to weaponize my review, weaponize my score, and be like, oh, fucking worst looking game ever on PSVR2. It's not. It actually still looks great, despite the fact that it's low res. And so I wasn't willing to weaponize my score and like teach them a lesson, right? Because that's not how I treat things. I say if this game never gets a patch, you should still definitely play it. It's beautiful and it's touching, and the soundtrack and the narration is amazing.
Yeah. It's just if you wait, then you'll end up getting the best version of the game. No
We
doubt.
sure hope so. We sure hope so. It sounds like they're interested in doing a patch and making it look better. Thank goodness. And as I said in my review, if they do update it and the resolution looks a lot better, then fucking not like bump that up a full point. It goes from being really good to being really great.
Amazing.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
It's a good one.
Let's see here.
We got Gamecat, specifically White Tiger with Canadian $2 tip. I'm gonna make this answer really short. He says, any Sony first party or PSSR update news? Nothing currently. We are patiently waiting for anything on that front. You know how it goes, man. There's nothing to report until there's something to report, and currently there's nothing, unless I missed something. Emily Baxter, the Cartoony Witch Game Kit, and Rare with the $5 tip says Stellar Entertainment may be bringing back MotorStorm or Burnout. Mobilize Gamecat Army to ask for PSVR2 support. I don't know. I'd ask for PSVR2 support, not PS Space VR2 support, Emily. Those are two very different things. Cartoony games suck. Fuck yeah. Let's. I didn't even hear any of this, so I'm gonna be looking into that news, Emily, and we'll definitely be asking you guys to show your support on that. Comic Book Guy with the 5 quid says, hi, an hour late, but when I was emailing devs, I also emailed the Planet Coaster 2 devs, although no reply, but VR mode for Planet Coaster 2 would be cool. Is Planet Coaster 2 like is that like a theme park style game? Or is it just
Maybe.
like a coaster builder? I don't even know.
I think it's I think it's a theme park thing where you can actually ride the rides, I believe. But
Nice.
in the meantime, I do highly recommend checking out and supporting Epic Roller Coasters. We've said for years we're like baffled that there's not enough roller coaster games on the platform. Epic Roller Coasters is free, and there's a couple DLC that I recommend getting for it. Get the newest. They're still releasing updates and DLC for it, so I highly recommend the Fantasy Thrills pack, the one with the superhero thing. There's some amazing stuff on there, and yeah, avoid the realistic one. Avoid the real places, and then I don't remember it all. I've done to it before, but yeah, go support Epic Roller Coasters. What is on the platform? Something that you can actually help support that's available. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Epic Roller Coasters is great, and I think the base game is free to play, right? And you get a couple tracks like right off the bat, so there's no.
Yep.
Yeah, no risk at all. Just jump in and play what they give you, and then you can spend money on some extra tracks if you're interested. Good stuff. Next one, Sergeant Frosty with a $2 tip says, "Release the Kraken." Yeah, that's what I was going to say about you meeting Sergeant Frosty. He actually brought a physical copy of Swordsman for you to sign, which
he snuck up on me too. He was really slick about that. We were in the history of Batman video games, I should say, panel that was like one of the few things that was like, hey, let's just like throw this in there, this was I think the first night. So I believe, was it Thursday, where we were like, we knew that we just need to keep it like kind of get settled in and everything, and we went and checked this out, and yeah, that was super cool. He comes up behind me, and I don't remember what he said, but he's like, oh hey, he said something really funny, but he was just like, can you sign this? And I look up, or no, he goes, hey, can you sign this? This game is my childhood. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, Frosty, because that's his thing. That's Sergeant Frosty's thing is, everything is his childhood. And he goes, can you sign this game for me? This is my childhood. And I autographed his physical copy of Swordsman, which was really, really cool. So again, another shout out to Frosty. That was super cool. Well executed, my friend.
Scott, the PSVR Gamecat for life, with the 20 quid, says, thanks so much, Brian, and AJ, and Wes, and Miles, and all the Gamecats that I met with, who I've just had the greatest 4-day adventure in Boston that I could have ever had. Much love to each and every one of you. Hashtag Gamecat Meetup 2025.
Hell yeah, man.
That's it's our feeling as well, man. It's our feeling as well.
Feeling's mutual.
Yep. And it was lovely meeting you. It was wonderful, right?
Scott was so much fun.
Scott is super, super old school when it comes to with that Parole. Like, it's such an OG Gamecat.
Yeah.
And it's just all of these. I feel like I've heard the same story a couple times, and I feel like we're going to keep hearing this story. people saying, "Oh, like last year, it seemed like you guys had such a great meetup." That the whole time I was saying, I'm not going to miss next year for the world. Next year, I'm going to make sure that I go." And I'm already hearing that again from this year from certain cats, being like, I kept an eye on the 2025 Gamecat meetup channel, kept seeing all the pictures, kept wishing that I was there. I'm definitely not going to miss it next year. So that's why I think that like it's all. Not that this year was bad or anything, or that last year was bad. We had, I don't know if I could have handled a bigger group or a bigger meetup this year or last year, but like that's why I think next year is going to just be overwhelming. It's going to be bigger. There's going to be more cats than ever. I think it's going to, when all the stars are going to align, and like people that didn't make it this year that did make it last year will actually show up, and then there's like cats that have been trying to make it for the last few years that like will finally make it. I think 2026, if you didn't go this year or last year, next year is the one to go to. And if you did make it last year or this year, next year, you should definitely try to make it next year as well. It's going to be great.
Come back and see.
Thanks, Scott. Future Bassmaster with the $10 tip says, looking forward to going next year. Hey, here it is. Plus one for Gamecat meetup in Vegas, my hometown. Vegas is the town that we're currently considering. It is nothing set in stone, but it is cheaper to travel there, cheaper to get hotels there.
There's also conventions with VR with a bigger VR presence there. So yeah, it could be a really good one. Definitely, we'll let you know ASAP. But that one is definitely on our checkout list.
I saw Ace Gamer Cat earlier in the show say, "How did Tornado respond when you got home?" I want you to know that before I even unlocked the door, I took out my camera, took out my phone, and documented my my reunion with Tornado. Okay,
nice.
And it was fucking epic, dude. Like I feel like she loves me more now that I'm back than before I left. She was like, "Oh my God," right? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Absence of food in my bowl makes my heart grow fonder. Dratzeb with the $10 tip says, "Are you guys talking about Bit Brigade?" Yes, well, that is who we're talking about. They're amazing. I saw them do Mega Man 2 and Castlevania.
Dude, we were the whole time. I was like, God, Dratzeb, I am so jealous because they are amazing. But like I said, yeah, like I can literally the first 2 songs off of F-Zero, I'm good. Like 2 or 3 songs from Super Mario World, I'm good. Castlevania and Mega Man 2, like start to finish, throw that shit on, and I will listen to it. And to see them play that, dude, that must have been mind melting.
Yeah,
that would be the dream to see them play those 2. Absolutely.
I loved F-Zero and Super Mario World, but I would have preferred Mega Man 2 and Castlevania. That would have been
amazing.
Great.
That's so cool that you got to go see that, though.
All right, 2 more, and then we're going to get to the topic of the show. Wow, 3 hours in. Scott, the PSVR Gamecat 4 Life with the 2 quid says 3 words for you. AJ, clam chowder, amazing.
Dude, oh my God. I'm actually really hungry too. So that just, I just wish I could have clam chowder right now, but it's gone. That's why I get it. That's why I get all the clam chowder and lobster rolls while I'm up there, because once I'm back home, I'm back in reality land here. I can't have it anymore, and I'm sad. But at least it was so good. It was so good. I'm so glad I got some. I got tons of pictures of it too.
I got to get some allergy tests done before next year because I've got so many seafood and nut allergies I developed them years ago, and I have no idea if I still have them because I've just been avoiding that food for like literally 2.5 years.
Some allergies can change. It happened with me with eggs. I had a really bad egg allergy, and it actually went away like as I got older. It was weird. It can happen. I don't know if shellfish is the same, but
no, it's all
definitely
the same.
Common with eggs. It is.
I didn't develop my allergies until I was like 27. Like I had no allergies my whole life, and so here I am at 45, thinking, well, maybe that time is over too. So we'll have to find out. I'd love to be able to have some fish and chips again. Jesus, it's been so long since I've had fish and chips. Alejandro D, the 2Y Underground Stranger Gamecat ran with the level 3 membership says, what a VR PSSR is. Hold on. What a VR PSSR is a feature is developing because they need it for an upcoming first party title. Maybe saying what if VR PSSR is a feature developing because they need it for an upcoming first party title. As always, thank you for everything you do. Man,
like when they announce the PSSR for VR, that they announce it alongside like a new first party VR title,
like an Uncharted VR game, right? Like something like that. The Last of Us VR with
You and
PSSR.
Uncharted.
I mean, listen,
Uncharted VR never killed the dream. No, listen, I get it. I would want nothing more than an Uncharted VR, but like I would expect a Spider-Man, God of War, Last of Us,
God of War would be great.
something where their current studios like a Wipeout even. Like I would expect that something that is a little bit more like their active studios, same people that have been kind of consistently making the same IP, things like that.
Yep.
I would, that would be my first thought. But I don't know. That would be cool. I hope to see that feature one day. But I think I did make a prediction that it would be announced this year. I think there's also a rumored showcase later in the year or something. I don't know. There's always
a rumored showcase.
There's always a rumored showcase. Yeah. It's like your rumored accessory video. But yeah,
that's not a rumor. That's just a flat out lie. Listen. Yeah, I mean, the only reason I keep bringing up Uncharted is because I was like that the climbing in Uncharted would have made way more sense than the climbing in Horizon. No.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
It's like
that.
Uncharted is half climbing, so like we would have been much closer to something that made sense. All right, man. Let's listen. We've covered the tips. We've covered PAX. Let's talk about Pirates VR Jolly Roger. We don't need to spend too much time talking about this because I haven't finished it. But I am going to finish it tonight. Let me get some footage up here.
Okay. And the embargo has lifted on this as of today.
Let's hope so. Listen, listen. We always kind of I don't talk about certain things that like the cats don't need to know, like things that happen pre-launch, pre-patch, whatever. Right? If it has nothing to do with the launch version, I usually don't mention it. But then it always comes back and bites me in the ass. Right? Like when aliens go.
We try not to mention it, but yeah, but it helps kind of
it just confuses
things into a certain context, or it just adds
right.
It adds context to our situation.
It just confuses things, and so like when Jamie or somebody else like says, "Oh yeah, aliens got patched for visuals, blah blah blah," before this, or you turn off this mode and like, oh, the effects work, then it's like, then when I say, oh, the visuals aren't that great, people go, oh, Jamie already reported on this. This is, this is how you fix that, and I'm like, no, I'm not talking about anything pre-launch or pre-patch or anything like that, right? But I'm going to bring this up just to put it in context of what I played, and so keep this in mind. This has been patched. We got keys for this game, and it was blurry, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? We just got the Midnight Walk, and that was lower resolution than it should have been, and then we get keys for Pirates, which like if you look at all the trailers, if you play the Steam VR version, it's pretty nice looking. Like that's sort of the appeal of the game, especially at the beginning when you're on this nice tropical island, right? And you kind of, you don't get, it's not open world or anything, but you kind of get to wander around and just take in all the like the beautiful ocean and the nice tropical locations and the trees, and there's just so much foliage and shit. You want it to look beautiful, but instead like you're kind of seeing it through this Vaseline, like this blur. Immediately we messaged them and we're like, hey, why is this thing so blurry? What's going on? It was running at 90 frames native, and so we're like, at least there's that. And they were like, oh my god, okay, hold on, like we're going to investigate and we'll get back to you. Please do not review this version.
Yep.
So last night or yesterday they patched it, and it is. You just got home? You haven't had a chance to play the patch version, have you, AJ?
Well, Brian, do I have news for you? I reviewed. Okay. I've only played the first two areas, like the first two sections or whatever. So I have played this. Yeah, of course, dude. I'm a professional, bro. I'm a professional. We always keep it professional. Actually, no, but I did play about 2 hours. No, I'm sorry, not 2 hours. I did play about two sections of this game, a little bit at the hotel. Yes, I did get to play it. And I checked out the patch.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
I played it.
Nice.
I played it just for maybe 2 minutes before the patch, and I was like, ugh! Like okay. It was definitely just like everything covered in Vaseline, and I'm like, why does this look like a PSVR 1 game? Which is weird when two games come out at the same time, and both of them are just like Vaseline over the eyes, and the developers are like, oh, what happened? It's like, did something happen? Like, did something actually happen that caused this? I don't know. But it is strange when two developers at the same time have the same issue, very similar issue, but I don't know. Anyways, the point is that, like you said, as of yesterday, they did have a patch that went live for this. And it looks a lot better.
It
It's
does.
not perfect. There's some stuff in the background. There's like a little bit of aliasing here and there.
Yep.
But overall, I think the game looks great. I think it's not perfect, but I do think like it's not red matter sharp or anything, of course. But I think it looks really good overall, and I think the art design it serves this very well because it starts you out in this island, and it's a pretty beach, and there's like really dense foliage, and there's water and ships and mountains. The mountains look really nice actually, like in the background. They like almost like indie Call of the Mountain kind of look to it, right?
Sure.
It looks good.
So Shades of Grey Matter says it's possible the resolution thing is a bug that's introduced by a late patch or tweaks to the final build. I'm not going to give them that kind of leeway. We also got Flippy Nugget says, what the fuck? As devs, how could they be unaware it looked like that? The people we're talking to are not Splitlight Studio. We're talking to VR Kiwi, the publishers, right? So it's very possible Splitlight knew that it looked like that, and they were like, oh, we're just out of time. Like, we're going to push this out, and we're shooting for 90 natives, so let's do what we have to do, lower the resolution to hit frame rate.
Yeah, and they gave us keys like really in advance. I mean, props to them. Like, they did get us keys pretty early, but they immediately said, please wait. Don't play it yet.
So, but to AJ's point, it does look a lot better now. I think it looks acceptable now in terms of resolution. When I checked it out, I was like, man, there's still something going on. Like in terms of like the text on the menu, it still looks like they've got this heavy anti-aliasing going on that like kind of like muddies the words. Like not when you're like looking at like a letter or something like that. Like everything really closely looks really sharp. Stuff in the distance looks a lot better now. It doesn't look so bad. I think it's a nice looking game now, but there's still something going on. And I asked him, I was like, listen, it sounds like you have some heavy anti-aliasing going on. I'd prefer to just see the rough edges, right, for some clarity rather than the muddiness. But overall, and they said, hey, listen, we're aware of some issues still that'll be patched post launch. But like they are comfortable that this is in a good review state at this point, and I agree with them. I think that I'm nitpicking with some minor visual issues. They've taken care of the major overarching issues. So
definitely. So
we've got a good looking game here. And I got to say, man, like it is a very interesting start to this whole thing, right? Because it almost feels like as you're wandering around this island, it feels like you've got a ton of places to go until you start sort of understanding the places they've dropped you in, and it feels a lot more limited. You're like, oh, there's only so many places I can go, and it's sort of almost like a mini Metroidvania for the first section of the game, where you're like looking to create tools in order to in order to get certain things out of your way, in order to progress down a certain path, and then to kind of get into the meat of the game, which is no longer outdoors where it's all beautiful, but inside where it's generally like dark caves and you're fighting skeletons and stuff. And there's something about that really works for me. Like, right, I'm really glad that this outdoor island exists, because it's not, I wouldn't call it a tutorial, but it is a nice training ground before you really start getting to the meat of the game. I'm probably 2 hours into this, AJ, and I feel like I'm almost done. Like, I feel like this is probably a 3-hour game. I don't think this is very long. But I've been enjoying every single beat of it. Like it has like a Shadow Legend vibe for me almost.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. It's also a little bit of, I was joking yesterday, thinking to myself, what I can say anyways is that it was like Pirates of the Mountain, like Pirates Call of the Mountain, in that beginning section, because you're doing. In the beginning, you're kind of like, you're doing some climbing, you're doing some problem solving, you're doing some generally piratey things like collecting treasure, and I'm like, I like
solving.
I like this. I did kind of like this. There's a bunch of little subtle things that I really really liked. Like the haptics. When you're grabbing the rocks, there's just this faintest little buzz in the controllers, and that felt really good. And then when you walk through, you have to walk through this little like almost like a cave, but it's not a cave, it's just a small little like hole and whatever, and there's vines hanging down, like a little cove, and you can't like interact with the vines or anything, but when you walk through them, what do? You get a little headset buzz, like just this tiny little headset buzz. There's these little tiny attention to detail things that was actually really bringing it together for me. And on top of this, like I kind of enjoyed like all the little activities, the little variety of things that you were doing in the beginning. So I did like that. as a little introduction to the game, to kind of introduce you to it and kind of, you know, get the flow. And you're like, oh, okay, you figure it out, and you're like, oh, like light bulb goes off. You get to do some like rappelling or I'm sorry, zip lining down the thing, and I'm like, yes, like this is what I like. It's just fun and exciting, and then you get into the caves and whatnot, and then there's some other things. That's where like some puzzles introduced. I haven't gotten to the combat yet at all, so I don't know what the combat's like. I will let you.
It's very
get
basic.
Into that.
It's very basic. Yeah, I mean, like you.
Is it like okay, just terrible?
There's two things going on with combat. First, they give you a lantern, and they basically have you
charge
fire,
it and shoot it.
Charge it and shoot it, and you're killing like, you know, like skeletons that have come to life by charging the lantern and shooting it. And it's like,
okay, and I dig that.
Yeah, and you find like little oil cans. Can that, like, you know, you just keep throwing into your inventory and collecting, and then, you know, recharging the lantern with, so that you always have light. And I'll tell you that the lantern just on its own as not a weapon, very nice alternative to a flashlight. You know, it fits the time period, and it really it casts some really nice shadows, and it makes the caves look really nice. I really it was one of those things that I wanted to have on all the time. But knowing that it was using the oil that I've been collecting, I'm like, I don't know. So you turn it off whenever you're not using it. It also has like magical capabilities where, like, you know, like you shine it on the wall and like different symbols
reveals
appear,
like symbols,
puzzles for, you know, that you're working on. And then eventually you get a fucking gun, like an actual like I don't even know what it is.
Not flint hook.
Flintlock? What the fuck is it? What?
I think maybe flintlock.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Flintlock is a general term for any firearm that uses a flint striking ignition mechanism. Yeah, so flintlock.
Super simple, right? Like the reloading mechanism is just taking the gun and like kind of putting it in front of you where there's like a symbol for your ammo, and then it reloads and you're good to go. Another shot, reload, another shot. It's the most basic of combat, but it's a good step up from Wanderer, where it actually like feels good. It feels good.
Okay.
Like it's there, and it makes sense that it's there, and it feels good that it's there. But I mean, don't expect anything crazy. It's very, very basic. And that's kind of everything here. It's like some basic puzzle solving, some basic climbing, some basic item crafting where you take two things and you put them together. A little bit of a collectathon where you're finding gold and treasure. And it's like a little bit of everything that you like, but it's sort of the light version of a game that would have all these mechanics like in some deeper fashion, right? If the game's only 3+ hours, it gives you a little bit of everything that you like, and it moves along. Like it's not, you never get tired of what you're doing. Like for me, this is a perfect 7 out of 10. This is exactly what I'm looking for in a game, and it doesn't do anything more or less than I was hoping for. And it's just a good time in its budget price. It's like a $20 game. I want 10 of these a year.
Are you saying it's a should we?
It's a should we? Yes.
So the way that you described Alien Rogue Incursion is kind of how I felt about this game. It's like, I don't need this to be a 9 out of 10. I don't need this to be a 10 out of 10 to enjoy it, to have fun. I'm having lots of fun playing this so far. And God, it feels good to finally have like an actual pirate game on PSVR, because geez, man, like it's been almost 10 years and we still haven't. And this is like the first just normal pirate game that we've had, like swashbuckling adventure wise.
You can still hear me, right?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
I think my camera went out.
It turned into some kind of satanic cat.
I think maybe it wasn't charged from the meetup.
Oh.
I think we might have to do the rest of this without me.
Oh, great.
Oh well. What are you gonna
wait, no, Studio Ghibli. Where's your Ghibli?
Oh, hold on.
You fucker. You do that to us, you better do that now.
Hold on, I got that shit. I got that shit at the ready.
Okay. So anyways, like what I was saying was, I feel exactly the same way. Like there's like really nothing I haven't enjoyed about this game yet, but I'm also not like super blown away either. If they do have like a $20 price point or whatever, I think it's great. I do think this game is a should we. I think it's a really fun time to pick up and enjoy and just go on a little swashbuckling adventure. That's all I need this game to do. I don't need this game to be the greatest thing I've ever played. I just want a fun pirate game with a fun pirate experience in it, and all the things it's having me do so far I am down with. I think it's really, really cool, and I have more to play, but from what I've played so far, I do really, really enjoy it, and I'm totally there with you, like low sevens. It's good, and I would recommend it. Again, it's a should we, but yeah. But it's also not like, the greatest thing since sliced bread either.
This is officially your channel now. In fact, you've even taken over my name. I can't get you on the correct side of the screen, so you're just going to be Brian Paul now. This is officially
looks like.
As if it wasn't your channel already.
As
if it wasn't your channel already. Now it's official. Yeah, this is the best we can do.
Oh my god, that picture! Oh my god, that's so terrible.
Oh, now we're both you. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah. Anyway, so listen, there are a couple of issues with this game. Like nothing to get crazy concerned about, but there are a couple of issues. I think that the climbing, there's a little bit of a weird delay when you try to when you grab onto ledges for climbing. Like it doesn't grasp on right away. There's like you click the grab, and then there's like a kind of a slow animation of you grabbing the ledge, and so it doesn't feel quite as natural as some other climbing games.
That sounds like nitpicking, because climbing felt fine to me.
It might be nitpicking, but also, like, I didn't really get to play much after the patch, so that could be one thing that they've improved since the patch. So I'm going to listen. I'm actually starting the game over.
The swimming was a little, like, when you're underwater. I don't know if this is by design or on purpose, but trying to swim to the surface is really, like, felt really difficult to me. So I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, I mean, are you using the sticks or just just swimming?
I think I don't know. I think I was,
because you can use either. You don't have to select one or the other.
I was using both, but it was like I almost drowned. Like really, I was really close to drowning. And
yeah, well, it's like Sonic the Hedgehog. If you see water bubbles coming up from the ground, you can just go over and get a breath from them. So it's it's almost hard to drown, to be honest, but it's a good time. Yeah. So again, I'm actually going to play through the entire game from start to finish tonight, especially knowing that it's relatively short. And I just want to experience the whole thing and see what else they've patched along with the graphics. Because if this is not an issue, the climbing is not an issue anymore, then fuck it, I'm more than happy to ditch that. But I think the pirate voice is dumb. I'm glad we have a pirate game, but I think the pirate voice we have is really kind of, I don't know. He doesn't sound very. He just sounds kind of weak.
It's just kind of simple. Like it's not.
Listen, I've got a lot of praise for this game, but I've also got a few complaints too. And so I just want to make sure that like we're not just universally praising something that has a couple things I would like changed, or just a couple things to be aware of. It's The pirate voice feels really wimpy. He seems like he seems like kind of a nerd. He doesn't seem like
the pirate that you play as.
Yeah, when you hear him talk, he just sounds wimpy, and I don't think
I paid attention to that. So
and also turn the pirate voice. I'm turning the parrot voice off, because the parrot voice sucks. Right. Yep. And you'll get to a puzzle sometimes, and like before you even look at the puzzle and try to start solving it, the parrot will go, it will go, oh, you should probably look at these levers over here and blah 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 blah. It's like, hey, give me a fucking chance. I haven't even looked at the puzzle. Stop solving it first.
That's actually really good that you can turn it. Just lets you turn off the parrot's voice.
You can in the options you can either turn it down or turn it off completely, and I would turn it off completely from the get go.
Yeah, because all you need to do is get close to him and let it fly to where you're supposed to be. That's all you need. You don't need it talking and spoiling like puzzles and stuff for you. You just need to get close to it and just let it fly to the next place where you're supposed to be solving something.
It's very seldom helpful. It's really more annoying than anything else. And so, these are the kind of things that would keep it from being, like scored higher. But again, this is Splitlight Studio, dude. This is the same people who made Afterlife VR, the horror game in the asylum. Yeah. And so I feel like they've come a long way. Like I feel like Afterlife.
This is a long way.
Yeah. And so You know, and Afterlife was blurry too when it launched. So like, you know, so this, I wasn't actually surprised when I saw that this was blurry, and I was surprised when they patched it. So yeah, so they've come a long way. This is way better mechanically.
Twitcher says power's going to AJ's head. He's just talking over Brian and ignoring him now.
No. What's happening is this is the first time you've ever noticed that this is what's happening. This is always how it goes down.
Yeah, probably true.
Always. Yeah.
I don't do it. Just for the record, I don't do it intentionally. I just.
He's just very excitable. We're all very excited to talk about the things that we love, and
I'm like Pot Boy. I'm like a puppy. I just get really excited and just do things.
Who's your puppy? Did you like that part of my review? I felt like that was the most accurate part of my midnight walk review when I called Pot Boy a puppy. You didn't watch my review. Okay. It's okay.
I'm pretty sure I did. Listen, man.
Yeah.
Dude. There's
Uh-huh.
a lot's happened since that review got published. A lot. Oh.
Okay.
And a
shout
lot
out to
more is happening very, very soon.
Shout out to Gamecat Rambo Gizmo with the level 1 membership. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, guys. So you know, again, Pirates VR has a little bit of everything that we're looking for in VR games. And honestly, if it was like twice as long, like it would probably be like in, you know, like in high 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd really, you know, but like being like a 3-hour adventure or whatever it turns out to be, you know, it just feels like a nice little diversion. I haven't. So but I did describe it to Wes. I described where I was to Wes, and he goes, "Yeah, you're coming up to the end."
Oh, okay.
So, but also, if you saw Wes in the chat tonight, he said that he's already seeing stuff in this version, in this footage, that was not in the Steam version, right? And so they were listening and saying, "Oh, like, you know, potentially adding things here and there." So
cool. And then also taking advantage of the features, haptics, adaptive triggers, headset rumble. That's good. Well, I don't know about adaptive triggers, but I know it does have haptics and headset rumble.
Fuck yeah! All right, AJ, I think it's probably almost time to get going. Do you have a 4-minute challenge game picked out?
I do not, but I do have. Somehow, I ended up with a bunch of these wristbands.
Oh my god! How'd you get so many?
I have because I have one of the bags, one of the mini bags that you had. I don't know how I ended up with this, but cool. If I have your address, which some of you cats out there, that's not a threat. If I have your address, though, you might be receiving some of these, maybe.
Yeah, and who was it Twitcher that was going to be mailing wristbands out to some of the UK cats?
Oh yeah,
I made sure he took a ton too.
Oh, unless these were intended for Twitcher, and I ended up with them.
I mean, as well. I left a massive bag for Twitcher on the one of the last nights we were there on the table in the lobby.
You know who else left a massive bag for Twitcher?
Oh, you took the bag. Okay. Now, the truth has come out. Yeah, there are a ton. There are a ton, but we'll make sure that we get wristbands to people who want them.
Let me.
Actually, if you want a wristband, come to Gamecat Meetup 2026. I learned that we're gonna need multiple colors and multiple sizes next year.
Okay, I've got a game picked out.
Oh, that was fast. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I did not. I will admit I did not put a lot of effort into this because I'm about 5 minutes from collapsing. So
perfect.
I'm ready to go.
Perfect. I need a low effort game. All right, you guys, you know how this works. We only have 4 minutes and an infinite number of yes or no questions asked during those 4 minutes to figure out what PSVR1 or PSVR2 game AJ is thinking of. Hold on, I don't even have a note. I don't even have a run a show up or nothing. I got nothing to type on. All right, let's use this over here. There we go. On your mark, you get Des. Go. Is it on PSVR1?
I think so. Yes, actually.
Oh my fucking god! Is it on PSVR2?
Yes.
PSVR1 and 2. He thinks. Is it has this developed made other games other than this game?
Yeah, I believe so.
Other PSVR1 or PSVR2 games?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this part of a series?
No.
Is it horror?
No.
Not series, not horror. Is it underwater?
No.
Not Neptune Flex, you guys. Is it? Do you shoot guns in this game?
Yes.
Okay. Shoot guns. Are they sci-fi guns?
No.
Okay. Is it like a military type thing, like military shooter?
No.
Okay. Is it contemporary weapons?
What's an example of a contemporary weapon?
Like regular ass weapons that you could buy at Walmart in the South.
I would say no.
Okay, we got to move along. Is it multiplayer?
I don't think so. Wait, is it? Hold on,
Oh
shit.
my
I'm sorry. I'm trying my best here.
God. But
This
admit.
says PlayStation Store says 1 player.
Okay, just admit that you're AJing the fuck out of it, and we'll all be fine.
Oh
we'll
my
be
god,
fine.
I'm not trying to.
Okay, Dan Kiefer says, "Are they wacky and stupid weapons?"
No.
Okay, is it cartoony? Does Emily Baxter hate this?
I don't know if Emily Baxter hates it, but it is a little cartoony.
Okay, we'll go with a little cartoony.
I think it looks great.
Okay, it looks great. Steve Irie says Compound. It can't be Compound. That wasn't on PSVR 1. Mischievous Markio says, does it use voxel art?
No.
Okay. It can't be Painted Town. Wait, did Painted Town Red come to PSVR 1?
No.
It didn't come to PSVR 1. Okay, cool. Do you shoot mushrooms? Do you shoot mushrooms?
What kind of question is that?
I don't know. Random Toxie asked it. I'm just asking questions.
Do you shoot and shoot
Listen,
at mushrooms, or do you shoot?
Is
there a game where you can
just
shoot
answer the
mushrooms?
question? Just answer the question.
I don't think so.
Okay. Did we mention the name of this game on today's episode?
No.
Okay, it's not Borderlands.
Do you shoot mushrooms?
Looper's wondering if they're ancient weapons. I think we got to move on from this. I don't think that's going to
sort of. Not really. I mean, kind of.
Okay, are there zombies?
No.
Okay, I figured that went out.
So.
I figured that went out the door with the horror question.
Definitely not traditional zombies, if any.
Okay. Is this a collection of games?
No.
Okay, not World of Assassination. Do mushrooms shoot you in this game?
What the fuck is with these questions?
I don't care. Just answer it. Just answer the question, AJ.
No.
Okay. Okay. Just a PSVR 2 enthusiast says, "Is there a music element, a gameplay,
like a rhythm game?"
Yeah, sure. I mean, does it have rhythm elements or music elements? Like, could you consider music a big part of this game, a big factor?
No. I mean, it's got great music, but no.
Okay. Is there full locomotion?
Yes.
Dan? Okay. Doom VFR was not on PSVR 2, Tatum, so that's not going to work for us. Hubris wasn't on PSVR 1, so that doesn't work for us, Silver Nexus. Shitty Fruity was not on PSVR 2. Are there robots? Asked Old Darth. Oh my god.
I don't think so.
But okay, Desperate Vladivostok didn't have full locomotion, though, did it?
You still need to. Yeah, you still got a lot of
stationary wave shooter.
You're kind of off track.
Yeah. Okay, is it Tales of Onogoro?
No.
Okay, that's it.
Was that your guess?
Yeah, that was it. What is it?
This was released at the launch of PlayStation VR 2, February 22nd, 2023, and also launched on PSVR 1. It is the fantasy
Light Brigade,
dark fantasy roguelike shooter that kicks tons of ass, that uses what I would call a lot of World War II weapons, mostly.
That's
World
true.
War II inspired with some fantasy elements.
Yep.
The Light Brigade by Funktronic Labs, that also made Star Bear Taxi. They, I think, published Fuji, or maybe developed it.
Yeah, Fuji. Fuji was
dude,
boring.
Light Brigade, man. Fucking great game. Awesome game.
Wait, Light Brigade never came to PSVR 1, says just a PSVR 2 enthusiast. I thought that it
What?
I thought it did. I remember that thinking they were crazy for launching a PSVR 1 game. Did it not ever come to PSVR 1? Because I think we just assumed it did and then never actually played it on PSVR 1. I'm looking it up right now. I'm looking it up. Don't you worry. I got you.
That never came to PSVR 1? They announced it.
Yeah, they announced it, but the question is did it make it? A lot of games get announced for PSVR 1 that never came out. Folia, Dear Father. So searching for Light Brigade on the PlayStation Store, there's a PS5 listing, and that is it. So I'm assuming he knows what's up. Yep, it just never came out the way it was put as planned.
Did like, so what? So they canceled it like last second or something, and nobody like said anything.
I mean,
Maybe there's like
I'm sure some people
maybe,
said something.
maybe there was like 4. I mean, yeah. How did I not know this?
Yeah, I mean, just a PSVR2 enthusiast said something apparently. So sorry. Yeah, that's interesting. I did not know that. They announced it was coming to both, and I remember even on PSVR.
You thought it was on PSVR 1 as well.
Yeah, dude, I do PSVR this week, right? And so the number of times I typed in the words "the Light Brigade" and then in brackets wrote PSVR 1 and PSVR 2. I remember this clearly. It was supposed to come to both, and then it never did. But I didn't. I don't think I ever realized that it never made it to PSVR 1. That's crazy.
Yeah, like I thought if anything, maybe it like got delayed or something, but I don't remember it just straight up getting like scrapped like that.
I think delay, and then we just said, oh, it got delayed, but we just assumed it came out, and it never did. So, yep, it's hard to keep track of all this stuff. Guys, we gotta go. This was a long ass episode. AJ literally got off the plane and got back to his house right before the show started. So let's let him go relax for the night. I'm gonna go play Pirates tonight and hopefully get a review out tomorrow for you guys. And man, the games of May just keep on coming. It's such a great time to be a PSVR 2 gamer. I've never felt more optimistic about the future of this headset than I have at this very moment over the course of this weekend. It just felt really, really good to be out there and spreading the good word and coming back and delivering information to you guys. Like everything seems like it's on the up and up, and I cannot wait to see how the rest of this year goes. There's big announcements, guys. Big announcements incoming. I don't want to say anything else. Just know there's big announcements coming.
There's lots of cool shit happening, dude. Like,
yeah.
For all those that never gave up on PSVR, which is most of you guys, like, thank you. Because despite all the fucking false bullshit, the truth is that PSVR is probably going to end up carrying this generation for the rest of it and growing it. So, really, really cool stuff. I need to stop talking because I am officially like down to like one brain cell.
That's okay. I just turned my camera back on and I'm down to 1%. So let's see if I can. Oop, there I am back for the rest of the show. Oh no! But now AJ's looks like me. Oh crap! This is not how I wanted this to go down. Oh crap! This is not. Listen, everybody, we want to say thank you so much for. There we are. AJ, you get to be me for the rest of the show, and I get to be you. Our name tags are not going to change. Okay. Thank you everybody who supports the channel, and thank you everybody who supported our GoFundMe in order to get us to PAX. You guys made a world of difference. Like you don't even know. I would be paying this vacation. I would be paying this trip back for the rest of the year, if not up to 2026. So really, really, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. Thank you everybody who supports the channel in every way that you do, whether it be supporting the GoFundMe, helping us out on patreon.com/withoutparole by being a member over here, by tipping during the show. It all makes a world of difference. I can't do
everything
this without
you do. Every little thing you do, from even sitting back, watching, and not saying a goddamn thing. We know you're out there. And we love you just as much, Brian. AJ.
Let's cue the cat.
Cue the cat, because I want to say see you guys on Wednesday to Chrome to the Dome Colossus. Heart to you. Oh, I can't wait to upload, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to have this. Brian's going to have this for you tomorrow. He's going to have the full PAX video special edited and uploaded tomorrow. I'm sorry. Correction. He's going to do that. I should be able to play some Pirates and Iron Guard tonight, which is also a deodorant that Wes taught to me.
No, Iron Guard is a deodorant. Oh my god.
Bye-bye. Time to play VR. Good night. Have a beautiful time. You're beautiful. Mischievous Mark, you're the underground Gamecat, says, spamming a bunch of cool emojis. That's really cool emojis. Kill Artist, the Dreamweaver, Gamecat. Amazing artwork. I think the artwork was, I actually think the artwork, he won up the artwork from last year. Maybe I'm biased 100%. Because I love the Final Fantasy and Mega Man, and Spyro too. But maybe maybe it was a little bit more tailor-made for me. But hey, I thought the artwork looked amazing, and I can't wait to hang it up and frame it. Salvador, speaking of awesome stuff that they make and send us, Sal, you'll have a nice surprise on the GAMESCAST that we filmed live, Sal. And also thank you for the buttons you sent last year and this year. Everybody got a button from this year, and I of course was rocking my Dave Station button for the most of this PAX. So thank you for doing that. I love how you guys are just like so cool and creative and make really awesome things that like mean a lot to me. You guys are lovely. Nick Bulow, the Gamecat in the house tonight. Oh, got me really plastered. So I might slur some words halfway through the GAMESCAST live.
That's what happened.
I
will never forgive you, Nick. AJ, at one point, AJ was just reading bullet points for a game off of the PlayStation Store, and the other three of us were looking, going, "What the fuck is he doing right now?" And now it all makes sense. You were drunk. I didn't even know.
I was kind of plastered, which I don't usually do that, but God. Those were we had an equipment failure where those turned out to be 9% beers. And that was, so it was a little equipment issue, but we're good. And I read bullet points. We read bullet points last year, so fuck off with that. We read bullet points for Genotype.
Just because you read bullet points last year and then you read bullet points again this year doesn't mean that we should read bullet points every year.
It doesn't mean it's not a thing either. So apparently, it's a should we.
Oh my God. Okay, actually, I'm curious to play Iron Guard. Is that really what it's called? Is it called?
Yes, it's called Iron. Okay. Guard.
Sweet.
I'm really looking forward to play it. I think I need to play it first though.
I feel like it's going to be a Brian bite more than a review. I don't know about time.
I think it'd be a good Brian bite, and I think it might actually be a good game too, which would be even better. But yeah, I think. But yeah, man. Actually, I have. There's so many more surprises. There's one in particular. There's that only a few select cats know. There's some secret thing that I did. That you don't even know about, and I cannot wait for this. This is gonna be amazing. Couple cats do know, like maybe 3 or 4. I'm not gonna tell you which ones. That way you don't go bother them about it. But they know the secret. Only they know the secret, and it's gonna be amazing.
I feel like if we let you talk any longer, you're just gonna tell us the secret.
Yeah. So I should probably not talk anymore. But I do want to say 12 the backlog Gamecat, middle Gamecat, solid Fritz, Ilko, love you brother. Thank you guys so much. I don't know if 12 is 12 toe Tom, but
no, I don't think so.
Okay, there's 2 different 12s. Skibby's in the chat.
Skibby,
dude, Skibby was there. Hung out with him a bunch.
Also, if you don't know, Skibby was the first Gamecat I ever met back in 2018 before our first official Gamecat meetup. I was me, Des, Michelle, and Jeremy all wandering the show floor at PAX 2018, and I was playing the game blind on a Vive, right, because it hadn't come out yet. And then I remember Des tapping me on the shoulder and whispering in my ear, going, "Skippy, the Gamecat's here. He wants to say hi." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm meeting a Gamecat for the very first time ever." And so I met him, and it was cool. We hung out for a few minutes, and then here we are, all these years later, 7 years later, and so cool. and he hung out for most of the gathering. It was really fucking cool, man. I feel like we came full circle. So, real quick, Ben L the Ghost Cat with the $2 tip says, "See y'all in Tabor." See you in Tabor, buddy.
12 is 12, man. There's only one 12, Brian.
No way.
How dare you?
Why do you fuck with us like this?
He was like trying to correct it. He's like, yes. He's like, no, there isn't. And he realized that we had already moved on and we were still talking. And he's like, damn it. He's like, for fuck's sake. Oh, that's so great.
Why do people fuck with us like this? I think it's intentional. They're like, well, let's see if we can drive them crazy.
2 12s. Come on, man. I haven't seen 2 12s since my fucking cheap ass car in high school. Anyways, guys, we love you so much. Thank you so much for your support. You guys made this happen. We have so much more to share with you over the next 2 weeks or so. And on top of this, we're dealing with a bunch of releases coming out. Zombie Army's coming out. We've got review keys for.
Are you drunk again? What is happening over there? It's okay to stop talking and just end the show. It's okay. It's okay. I'm staring at a thumbnail. I feel like we could end the show any second. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna be okay.
Wait. I told people to change their names, so I knew this was going to be my fault somehow. God damn it.
Oh, and look who's talking now.
Okay, I'm done. Good night, everybody. We love you all.